Yeah. So, oh my gosh, man. This is going to be a fun show, dude. So what are we going to talk about? Oh, well, first of all, there's a bunch of people who all went ham on the, I don't even know. What do you even call our, like, the group that's skeptical of the official story? I don't know. You call them something, but sorry, I'm still pulling up my tabs because I had to shut them all down. But we got people saying that Candace is going to have her electronics seized. We've got Tim Pool weighs in for the first time in a long while, and he had an interesting take that I watched literally the first 3 minutes of his video, and I was like, oh nope, that's wrong. That's not correct. That is not correct. But he said, it's funny because he said the exact same thing that I said originally. And, the people who respond to these things, they're the ones who actually, are the reason that I'm going to be able to debunk his argument, which I assume was meant to support them. We got Blake, Neff, we got all kinds of stuff. But the big kicker, okay? The big kicker is two things. Number one is I'm going to show you guys something that I found in the footage, okay, like in the roof footage that nobody has pointed out yet. That is like, hey, you know where I recognize this little problem from? Another very famous not real video. So we're gonna go through that, and I will be very interested to hear what people think about that. Steven Crowder went off on Candace, so we have that going on. I'm literally just pulling these up one by one because, again, I lost all of my tabs. But as I do that, let me also say the following. So if you have not followed the Clips channel yet, because we're doing live streams so much more, we have a Clips channel. You can see the link is in the description. When you do a 3-hour stream, there's a lot of good 10-minute moments that we don't want people to miss just because they didn't see the stream. And so the Clips channel is where you're going to see those. There's a link for it in the description. We also have the merch is up, fan-made merch that is in the description also. You can check that out. And we're in a rock and roll. So let me also go back. And then the other thing that we're going to look at is is a very prominent defense attorney who just went live with like, hey guys, the prosecution, this is dead now. And it's actually Mark Garagos. And you guys may remember him from such cases as every prominent famous defense defendant has hired him. Cain Velasquez, Michael Jackson. Oh my God. Well, every other one too. I'm just kidding. Garagos, very, very, very well known though, and he weighs in on this also. Okay, so let me start right here just because I already have this pulled up, and while I fumble through the beginning of this because I lost, like I said, all of my tabs. Let me pull this part up and let me show you what Tim Pool said, and then I will actually, that's not a good place to start. Let's start here, dude. So what we're going to do actually is I'm going to react to Valhalla's video, and we'll go through what I found in the stream. Upper lip, a little something. Thank you, dude. Oh, that is protein powder / electrolyte drink. Appreciate you. Thank you, dude. That's the best $5 you will ever spend in your entire life, because I will never forget that you did that. It's fucked when people see that and they don't say anything about it, dude. You know what I mean? I eventually probably would have seen it on the camera, but I'm scrambling here trying to figure out how to get all of these. Like, you guys don't know the pain. I saw people in the chat. They're like, must be nice to go on whenever you want. And I'm like, are you serious? You think that it's good to know you have thousands of people waiting for you, and then your computer explodes and you have to restart and you just lost 35 minutes of work that you did setting up your stream? I promise it's not that cool, dude. Okay, so let's rock and roll, and we're going to put up Nate real quick, and Knifin, one of my favorite channels. Appreciate the hard work. Thank you very much, dude. And I appreciate you very much. Butter, thank you very much. I would never I would never let a friend walk around with a booger in their. Thank you, dude. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Is it still there, dude? I'll fix it. Okay, so let me show you guys Nate's video, and then I'm going to show you what we found while I fix my face. Okay, so let me get over to the footage. Okay, here you go. So I'll show you. I'll let you look at what he said, and then I'm going to show you what I saw
on this roof. Now, before we watch this, I want to remind you what the suspect will say.
Is that
was supposedly wearing as he headed to the roof, because that's going to be important, because it's not what he's wearing in this video. Odd. Let's take a look. All right, so let's watch this in real time, then I'll slow it down and break it all down frame by frame. So here is supposedly Tyler Robinson down here in the corner, and keep in mind, we're supposed to believe that he has a 30-06 disassembled in his pants and his backpack or something somewhere. Yeah, so let's watch. Also, the outfit he has on, quite interesting. All right, so here he goes. First things I noticed, he is wearing a big black overcoat of some sort, it looks like. A little bit different than what he supposedly was wearing up to the roof. I'm not sure where he now has had in this little tiny black backpack, apparently a 30-06, a full change of clothes, and now a giant black overcoat, as well as a towel, it turns out. So Dora Explorer's magic backpack at work. Next thing I notice as we're watching this, guys, he's running in a full gait, completely bending both knees, which means at this point there is no disassembled rifle in his pants. So let's look and see if we can see a 44-inch long gun that he's carrying fully assembled. Now, keep in mind, here he is. Most 30-06 are around 44 inches long. That's nearly 4 feet. And so my question, of course, now is, where is it? Let's keep watching.
boom? I love it, dude. Watch that again, you guys. Okay? Watch this again very closely. Did you see it? Watch his shadow. Let's see if I can make this bigger by going like this. Okay. Watch the shadow. And it's gone. It's gone. Wait, his shadow is gone. Watch it again.
Explorer's magic backpack at work. Next thing I notice as we're watching this, guys, he's running in a full gait, completely bending both knees, which means at this point there is no disassembled rifle in his pants. So let's look and see if we can see a 44-inch long gun that he's carrying fully assembled.
Oh my God, I went way too far back.
Now, keep in mind, here he is. Most 30-06 are around 44 inches long. That's normally...
And this is a good time. I'll pause it real quick before we watch it again and say, this is gravity, okay? Like this is as simple as you throw an apple in the air, it's coming back down, okay? If you are running outdoors, the sun is positioned where it is, your shadow is going to be where the sunlight goes, except blocked by your body, okay? If there is something blocking the sun for a split second, that makes sense, except that there will be a shadow from said object that is going to absorb that area. There is no reason that I am aware of, maybe someone can educate me in the chat, why a shadow will vanish in thin air for whatever reason and then return right afterwards without there being a new object. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Ready? Here we go.
4 feet. And so my question, of course, now is, where is it? Let's keep watching.
And it's gone.
Still don't see a gun.
And then it's back. So I don't know. It's, I mean, listen, dude, I don't know. I will say, dude, listen, like I do have at least, as funny as I find a lot of some of the criticism that we take, I will point something out that is what's so fun about our job is I don't have to answer anything. All I have to do is go, that's weird. You know, I mean, in my case, I do actually try to answer everything, but I'm saying like people who do what we do, all you have to do is just kind of go, hey, look at that, dude. Missing shadow. What do you know about that? What do you think? Aliens. I'm just kidding. I don't actually do that, but I am laughing about that particular one just because it's like, I have no theory on what it means. Aside from the fact that, once he gets up to the roof there was some kind of weird flash that, in my opinion, mimicked the, the flash that, when the, the sign that got eaten by his face. If you guys didn't see my coverage of this, I will show you guys that again, just because, I never know. I don't know who sees what, you know what I mean? But if you guys remember that Betty Johnson put up the video of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and he was like, look it, now we can see perfectly what's going on. And the video he put out said CapCut AI on the corner. And then the guy was running, and he had it was like some big white sign. And then it just went and just got swallowed by his face. And it was like, I feel like I can confidently say that this has been doctored, It's funny. What's funny about that is that literally went absolutely thermonuclear viral. And guess how many views I got on that video on YouTube? Not very many. Almost like YouTube was like, let's be careful with this guy, Ever since I did a video, usually we don't get into the details on this stuff like on live streams, but I did a video about the Butler shooting, I don't know, maybe like 2-3 weeks after it happened. And I did a video about that woman who was literally directly behind the stage. Trump goes down, and then she is immediately up like this. Like she just goes up and she's all, and you're like, okay. And obviously if you guys watch my coverage on this, that is what I'm always looking for. It's like, let me see someone whose behavior makes no sense. And, someone's firing shots. President, supposedly just got shot. Some guy got his head blown off back there. And for some reason, this person who somehow was given the front and center seat right behind the president was so unafraid that she just popped up and she's like, just want to make sure that I get a perfect shot of what's going on right now. Wow. This is heroic. Wow. I'm not scared for some reason. So I did a video about that. And they had recently put out, someone had put out a post that was like, we think it's this woman. And it was some, I don't know. I think it was, if I remember correctly, it's a woman who worked for the FBI. And I never said it was her. I was like, this is what people are saying online, that it's this woman. The video did 3.7 million views. And then my channel never trended again on anything like that. Like never again. It was like, okay, well, you've been marked for death, sir. Just kidding. But so on this one, though, I actually, you know what? I don't want to talk about the one that we were just looking at with the shadows. I don't want to talk too much about that because I heard that Nate and Elizabeth Lane talked about it last night, and they midway through their stream changed their mind about something. So I don't want to I don't want to get too deep in that. However, what I definitely want to get deep on is this. So we're going to watch this segment from Candace. It's 2 minutes long, and it connects pretty directly to what we were talking about yesterday, right? Because yesterday we were talking about anomalies that make no sense, where I look at it and go, how do we explain this? Like, this is all behavior that makes no sense. Erica, not sad. Huh. That's pretty weird. Like, isn't that her husband? Why is she not sad? And everyone's all, because she's evil. I'm like, maybe, maybe not, right? Like that's one option. She's evil. That is an option, right? And you're like, what about Mikey McCoy? He doesn't look like a super villain. Why is he laughing and not crying 5 days after this happened and this, this horrible tragedy that my wife and I were literally embraced crying the night that it happened. I didn't even personally know Charlie. Why are we crying? Somehow Mikey's not that sad, and actually not sad at all. And Erica, also not that sad. Colvin, not that sad. Blake Neff looks like when someone suggested whatever was going on to him, he was like, this is a terrible idea. It's going to blow up in our face. Like, I don't think we should do this at all. I don't think this is a good idea. I think it's a terrible idea. And then he kind of got forced into whatever was going on. And ever since then, he has the look of an unhappy hostage every time that I watch him on television. That's my read. I'm saying that's true. It's just like, he looks like he didn't want to go along with whatever this is. And then he also is not sad. So, I'm like, maybe this isn't what it looks like. So let's keep all of those things in mind. And then we'll watch this clip from Candace, which just got sent today. And I laughed out loud
anyway,
when I
back
saw
to
it.
our
So I was
question.
like,
Where are the witnesses to the events that took place that day?
What's going on?
At Timpanogos Hospital. Where are they? That's a
What the
scene.
fuck is going on?
They see him doing that?
What is going on? Why is this not letting me engage with the video?
Anyway.
Okay, that was super weird. They invaded my stream. They're all, don't let him hit pause. Don't let him hit pause. He's going to figure it all out.
Back to our question. Where are the witnesses to the events that took place that day at Timpanogos Hospital? Where are they? That's a scene. They see him doing that? Didn't they see Dr. Hartpole House? Well, listen to this. I am told that at some point in the 10 o'clock a.m. hour on September 10th, so to be clear, and this is crucial, over 2 hours before Charlie was shot, the Timpanogos hospital staff directed everyone who was in the emergency room into a different wing of the hospital. People were not sure what was going on. The staff was directed to move everyone in the emergency room to a different wing of the hospital. Then after some time, at approximately 11:30 a.m., patients were informed that they would be transferred aboard shuttles to Intermountain Hospital. That's Utah Valley Hospital. And that's what happened. All of the emergency room patients and all of their files were then transferred to Intermountain. So there's effectively no trail outside of hospital cameras, which have been conveniently seized by Kash Patel's office, of these patients ever having been at Timpanogos Hospital. Now, there are a few things I'd like to say here. First, there's always a trail. There's always a trail. Somebody somewhere drove that shuttle bus, booked the shuttle bus, saw the shuttle bus arriving at Intermountain Hospital, was working at Intermountain Hospital when a shuttle bus stopped and people emerged and files mysteriously then were transferred. And if you are that somebody, that one body, please email us. By the way, I just want to mention, if you were one of those patients, you probably should also contact a lawyer, but you can't pull that off without something. There's also some techie people, maybe the Google satellite imagery, this shuttle, somebody's going to look up shuttle companies. Was there a weird trip that day? Let's get on that. More tips at...
So, listen, guys, I don't promote myself as the smartest person on earth. I really don't. I do somehow marvel at how anyone who has heard my theory could hear that story and not go, wait a minute. Did you say they cleared the hospital 2 hours before he was shot? Yes, that's what she said. That is what she said. Honestly, that's so important that I want to double check that is in fact exactly what she said.
This guy. Anyway, back to our question. Where are the witnesses to the events that took place that day at Timpanogos Hospital? Where are they? That's a scene. They see him doing that? Didn't they see Dr. Hartpole House? Well, listen to this. I am told that at some point in the 10 o'clock a.m. hour on September 10th, so to be clear, and this is crucial, over 2 hours before Charlie was shot, the Timpanogos hospital staff directed everyone who was in the emergency room into a different wing of the hospital.
That's what I thought she said. I don't want people to see my eyeballs when I think about how fucking obvious this is. I can't take it, dude. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. Come on, man. 2 hours before he's shot, they move everyone out of the wing that they're going to take him to the, Walk me through a scenario where that makes sense if what you're going to do is kill him. Like, come on, dude. Sorry, that was an outburst, and I apologize for it. Let me take some super chats, and we're going to come back to that because I don't want to act like I know what, like, for sure what happened, because I don't. I have no idea. I'm just saying that feels like behavior that doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of options there, right? If you're like, wait, well, so what's his theory again? I'm like, my theory is that I think they might have faked his death so that they could put him in witness protection, and there was a reason that they needed to have someone think that he's dead. Thus, it's a huge operation backed by the U.S. government to make everybody think that he's dead for some reason that I can't really back into. I have hypotheses about why they would have done it, but that's what my hypothesis is. That would explain why no one is sad. That's why no one at TPUSA has looked in any way, even remotely close to how they're supposed to look throughout this entire thing. It would explain why there's like this, you know, if you're supposed to have 100 gallons of blood, like, I know I say there's no blood, but you're like, okay, well, if you were expecting 2 like milk cartonfuls of, you know, full of blood, just as reference, like, and yeah, you know, we found somebody took like a teaspoon and put it, it's like, there's blood. It's like, right, but there's supposed to be 2 gallons. So what I'm saying is, like, how could you possibly explain this gigantic organized thing to move all of the patients out of an entire wing of a hospital that Charlie's going to be taken to in 3 hours when he hasn't even been shot for the next 2? How? Someone make that make sense to me, dude. Fit that into, we're about to assassinate him. Why would they care about the fucking hospital? They're trying to kill him, right? Hospital's where you save lives. Sorry. That sounds like I know things for sure, and I don't. I'm just saying, when I heard that this morning, I'm like, you have to be kidding me, dude. I can't take it. I can't take it. People telling me I'm crazy. And I'm looking at that, like, this is what being gaslit looks like, dude. Okay. Like, this is what gaslit looks like. When you're like, hey, are you like a generally pretty smart person? It's like, I mean, I used to think so. It's like, okay, well, what you're looking at is not what you're looking at. It's like, are you sure? Because, like, this seems pretty obvious. And then, like, all these other people that you know are like really smart are all, nope, you're crazy. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? I'm crazy? Explain this, dude. Come on. How am I the only one looking at it like and thinking this? I don't understand. Anyway, Butter, you look fine. Now you look fine, my friend. Thank you very much, good sir. The Zucker, thank you very much, dude. Jesse, did you see the Stu Peters and Andrew Wilson debate recently? No, but I should watch that. And if I debated Andrew Wilson, it's gonna be boring, dude. It'll be boring. Well, actually, it depends on, I haven't watched his debate, but if his position is like, I feel totally comfortable arguing that I know for sure that blah, 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 I'll be like, oh no, you don't want to take that position, dude. If you want to come after me about like that, I know exactly what happened. Like, I'm not doing that because I don't. But if you want to go, oh yeah, no, for sure, this is what happened, I'd be like, really? You know for sure? Yes. Confident enough to say that, you know, there's nothing suspicious about this Lance Twiggs character. These text messages seem totally fine. The videos and pictures, yeah, there's no problems there. This incident here, that if it turns out that she can back that up with facts, like, that seems pretty fucking weird. You know, the fact that somehow none of the investigators seem to figure out that if your key witness, who was told to us to be a trans guy, not even trans, but also, you know, has his DNA on every single piece of evidence, including the fucking thing that they engraved the bullets with, and only his DNA's on it. They're all Tyler Robinson. It might be on there, but Lance's definitely is. You're all, oh, you mean the thing that they wrote like, hey, fascist catch with? Only one person's DNA on it. Yeah. And how did you guys locate that piece of evidence? Well, Lance told us where it was. Lance, the guy who's saying that Tyler did it. Right. Yes. He told us where to find it because, you know, we found the bullets that said, hey, I killed Charlie Kirk. My name's Tyler Robinson. And here's me confessing in this text message. I did it. I'm the one who did it. You're like, all right, well, is there anyone else who had access to all of these things that lead us to this narrative? Like what? I don't know, like the Discord that he confessed in. Oh yeah, Lance had access to the computer and he was logged in there. Okay. What about the text message? Well, Lance actually turns out actually that the phone that sent the text messages was in fact, very often in Lance's house since they lived together. Oh, okay. Well, obviously the timestamps on those text messages will obviously disprove that Lance could have done it, right? What time did he send those text messages? Because he said he was outside waiting to go grab his rifle, right? Like, that's what he said. He said, oh, maybe I'll go, hopefully they don't find fingerprints. Hopefully they don't find fingerprints on my gun. And so he's like outside waiting to see if he can sneak in there, grab the rifle. What time was that at? It was at 11:30. 11:30. He was out there an hour after Charlie got shot or whatever. No, 11:30 p.m. Charlie was shot at noon. He sent the text messages at 11:30 p.m. Yeah, he sent them at 11:30 p.m. Hadn't the rifle been recovered like 6 hours before that? Yeah, it had. The rifle had been recovered in the afternoon the same day. Yes, it had. And the text messages from Tyler Robinson to Lance Twiggs, which are the basis of this entire case, were sent 8 hours after that. Yeah. But trust us, dude. Lance is the one who told us. And then it turned out that the text messages were real. You're all, oh, okay, cool. Have you guys done any background checks into Lance versus Tyler? Well, yes, because, once Lance told us Tyler did it, of course, we looked into Tyler and we did validate that he did live with Lance, and he, according to his parents, I don't know, used a Mauser World War I gun and stuff. You're like, is that a World War I or World War II Mauser rifle? And they're like, well, I mean, not in the pictures. Not in the pictures. You're all, okay. So again, have you looked into Lance's background? No. Why would we do that? He is the key to this case. Why would we want to look into his background? You're like, well, because you had someone come out within about a week of this entire thing happening, and he let the world know that Lance is a schizophrenic fucking psycho. He showed us pictures of his notebooks where he's scribbling all kinds of insane shit that a person who is sane would never do. So you got a pretty, I don't know. It seems like you got a credibility problem with Lance is on every key piece of evidence. Lance was a gifted kid, so he's smart enough to potentially try to pull something like this off. You have text messages that make no sense. They're done 8 hours after the rifle's already recovered, and they were sent from Tyler's phone. And what time does Tyler wake up every morning, you guys? 7 a.m. So what's the likelihood that he's awake at 11:30 most nights? Probably not very good. And if he didn't actually shoot Charlie, then he would be coming home, not realizing what's going on. And then Lance would beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Hey, get some good sleep, Tyler. We've got a really big day in the morning. You have to wake up at 7. So I think tonight, instead of you pounding my little pirate booty, you should just go straight to bed. Go straight to bed, Tyler. Okay. Hey, Tyler. Hey, Lance, I did it. I'm the one who shot Charlie. Remember when I was engraving my bullets that I was going to use to kill Charlie? Well, turns out they found him. And if I hear them say that on Fox News, I'm going to shit a brick, man. I hope they don't get my fingerprints on the rifle that I used to shoot Charlie Kirk. He wrote all that in text message. Yeah. He both at the same time referenced his concern about evidence in the fingerprints, which for some reason he did not remember one day ago when he was planning this out, and he didn't decide to just wear gloves, which cost 3 cents if you go to a beauty shop. He probably couldn't figure that out, right? So he referenced his concern about future evidence in the case against him with the, fingerprints, but he had no concerns about writing a 20-page confession in writing through text message to his roommate, who is not even engaging in this conversation. So it lines up, dude. Please come debate me, dude. And tell me that this case is bulletproof. If I take Lance did it, someone else takes Tyler, I'll fucking eat their dick, dude. Okay? What? You say you're going to eat their dick? Sorry, I was talking about these trans pirates, dude. Okay? I don't know where that came from. I'm not eating anyone's dick. Not that you know about. Sorry about that. But yeah, no one is going to win that debate ever. If they're going to tell me that official story makes sense, Tyler Robinson did it. They're going to be like, dude. And what's hilarious is before this moment, they would have been like, you want me to debate the fucking psycho that thinks that Charlie's alive? They'll be like, I'll fucking kill that guy. It's like, no. I'm smart enough to know, I'm not taking the Charlie's alive side. I'll just take the, you don't know shit. And Lance is way more likely to have done it than Tyler. which you would have heard from the defense attorneys if he had a competent defense team, which he may have. Maybe there's a reason that they didn't even introduce that. We'll see. Make me as a defense attorney. I beat that case 1,000%, and I only take that position. That's the only thing I do. I'll just go, no, it was Lance. Lance did it. And by the way, if you guys didn't know, word is that Lance attacked someone in his own family with a knife. That's what the report was from someone in his family who was a source on that story, that Lance had attacked his own grandparents with a knife before. So has Tyler ever had any incidents where he tried to kill anyone with a deadly weapon? No, nothing like that. Any violence, any fights at schools? Mm-mm. Any reports from people that he was an unhinged kind of crazy person? No, none of that. What about Lance? Lots of that. Yes, lots and lots and lots of that. A lot of substance abuse problems as well, it sounds like. History of violence. Yeah, so I don't know. It makes perfect sense that when we have this grainy video that doesn't look like anyone, and in case you guys didn't see my coverage of this back then, I did a side-by-side. Here is suspect AI. This is person number one. This is person number two, which if you do facial analysis, you have to pick one of the two, compare their features. Who does it go? It did 6 different quadrants of the face, and it picked Lance for all 6. 6 for 6. It said eyebrow ridge, Lance over Tyler. Nose, whatever, Lance. This one, Lance. I'll fucking demolish anybody on that. It's unwinnable. Cannot win. Cannot fucking win. Can't win. But I'm still not going to do it because I just won right now. And anybody who watches it is going to be like, I don't know if I want to dance with them on that. You don't. I promise you don't. Anyway, so Kim Brown, thank you very much. Why not check all of Tyler's jeans to see if they all have phone imprint in jeans? To see if any of them do. That's a good idea too. I mean, the thing is though, is like there's so much nonsense in this case that now you look, you're all, so we think that we can poke a hole in the photograph of the jeans because in these jeans, you can see a clear imprint of the cell phone. It's like, right. No, we can't find any of that in all of Tyler's pants. And you're all right. I know. The problem is that the shooter that people have proposed is the shooter in this video that we just looked at and we'll continue to look at. That person's wearing a completely different outfit. So, you know what I mean? You're like, which one's the shooter? The guy who has a cell phone imprint, a backpack on at a fucking college university, no indication that he has a 30-06 or any other kind of firearm that wouldn't fit inside of a backpack this big on his person anywhere, or the tactical gear person that we're looking at a video from 150 miles away that seems to have a gigantic black jacket on, tactical gear, whatever. He does some crazy. By the way, dude, I'm going to try to find it right now. Someone yesterday was like, this is a joke to try to pretend that this move that guy did was some high level maneuver, military maneuver where he's doing that crawl. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Okay. Jesse, what's your military history? None. So then why do you think that you can speak confidently about this? Because the move he's doing is a jujitsu knee cut. Okay. That is a jujitsu knee cut. The maneuver he is doing is literally nearly identical to a 6-blades jujitsu knee cut. Okay. If you went and told some white belt and you showed them exactly how to do that, and then you were like, okay, now I want you to go from point A, I want you to go 20 yards doing nothing but a knee cut, holding a rifle. Good fucking luck, dude. Okay. You'll be there for 6 weeks. No one is going to be able to do it as well as that guy on the roof did it. That guaranteed. Whoever was doing that had done that a lot, like a lot. Anyway, continuing on here. So yeah, no way it's 12:30. The shadows lean too far right. See, this is why we open source the investigation, because it's kind of like one person notices, like we notice something, and then a bunch of people who are smarter than me go, and what about this? Because yeah, I was literally just talking to Elizabeth Lane before I went on, and she's like, we should just go to UVU and then so we can actually like test a bunch of this stuff out. Because that's a really good point about the, like, where's the sun? And I'm going to show you exactly what Tim Pool said, because it's related to that in a second, as soon as we get done with these. But yeah, out of Oh, Out of the Ashes. I always like reading people's names and then complimenting the ones that are awesome. That's a really good one. Enhanced footage is the wrong building. So I actually spoke to Elizabeth about this, and she said that during her and Valhalla's stream yesterday, they thought the same thing. And then Trigger Smart got kind of like brought in because he had better access to whatever. And then he said that's not accurate. If I'm butchering this, then one of you guys can text message me if any of you guys are watching. But that is the we'll look at that. We'll look at that some later. I love how you started. Why so sad? Say it. Oh man, dude. Okay. Why so sad? I'll show it. Okay. I'll just show it, dude. So after the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I will apologize in advance in the event that I am wrong about the status of Charlie Kirk generally, just in general right now, then I apologize in advance for even having ever brought this up. But after oh my God, no way, dude. I just looked up Erica Kirk, why so sad on X, and it's my video that came up first. So yikes. Okay. So this is what the reference is to Erica Kirk's, into the background of this, dude. Okay. This is insane. I just want to go find. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Why so sad? I had to listen to it a couple times before I heard it. But once I did, I can't unhear it. Every time, listen. Why so sad? Ready? I just want to go find. Is that not crazy, dude? Yeah, I will just reiterate that I'm pretty sure that like I'm one of the only people who actually like for real believes that Charlie's almost certainly like still alive. Like, and again, I don't know, dude. I'm just saying that is definitely a very real possibility. And so like the idea of someone saying that to her, if they don't think that, first of all, I would never say that anyway, but like a person who like knew, let's just table that, right? I'm actually only even bringing that up to like kind of because I'm self-conscious about my amusement of that when I watched it, you know, because if you knew, like if this was just like, oh yeah, Charlie got shot and killed, you know, and the entire world saw it, and this is just an indisputable fact, and then you knew that, and you saw Erica walking out crying, and you were like, oh, why so sad? That's fucking psychopathic, dude. You know, like that's psycho, and yet. It's still, I can't, I'm not a perfect person, dude. I'm not a perfect person. Paisley Park, welcome to the membership. Son of Project, that's super suspicious. Love y'all. Stay safe. Thank you, sir. It's all suspicious. I agree. Comes somebody, Andrew defined beta male Wilson is a fed slopper that sits on the corner couch. I don't think that he falls into that category, actually. I think that he's just a straight up facts and logic data guy. And if you have not, I mean, like the reason that if you took a regular person who has not had a massive incentive to be surgically focused on this situation in this case for the last year, and you were like, okay, dude, here, you are going to go and try to debate Andrew Wilson, that fucking Lance, that the key witness is more likely to have done this than Tyler. Good fucking luck, dude. And my point is, like, I don't think Andrew Wilson has been talking about this case, which means he has not actually surgically looked at all of this stuff the way that I have or other people have. And my reaction is, this is what I'm saying. I never once considered that TPUSA could have actually whacked out Charlie. Never considered it ever. Never, still haven't. Impossible. Does that mean that they didn't? No, I have no idea. But I've never even investigated that angle at all, because as soon as anything started implicating them, I immediately went to, oh, this must not be real. Because I'm looking at them, and these are not evil people that are going to kill their best friend, their husband. I'm looking at them. I'm like, these are good people, man. These are good people who are trapped in a real weird situation that they probably should have said no to at the beginning, potentially, or maybe this is going exactly how they want it. I have no fucking idea. And also, I'm probably wrong, you know? But if you hadn't looked very closely at this and you're only going off of, like, oh, well, Benny Johnson said that they saw this, and oh, the case said Tyler Robinson, whatever, he confessed, wait, he confessed twice? Yeah, he confessed twice. Okay, well, what the fuck are we talking about then? Why are they trying to get this fucking kid off who killed Charlie Kirk? That's exactly how I would interpret it if I was him. It's only because I have done such an astronomical amount of put so much attention on the case that I know it's like, no. These people are not crazy at all. At all. It's crazy that the people who are calling them crazy are pretending that they don't see all of the massive problems with this case. I would never, ever. Well, let me rewind. I realize that what we do has real effect on the world. And I'm not trying to sound like, I'm not just talking about, I'm saying anyone who has a semi big audience or even medium audience, you put ideas out into the world, it's going to have an effect, bottom line, because maybe if you don't have a huge audience, maybe someone that does is going to see what you said. They're going to start thinking about it. It's going to change their opinion. They're going to start talking. This is exactly why, why the YouTube algorithm does not just willy-nilly let people who talk into a camera blow up on their algorithm. They get suppressed, not because of probably a lot of reasons, but certainly because they don't want to have some fucking asshole in his basement all of a sudden, have the ability to sway elections. You know what I mean? They're not wrong. And so if I would never misrepresent my own thoughts about something, even at my own expense in many cases, this probably being one of those times, but I would if I really thought that it was super likely that Tyler Robinson did this himself, because my entire focus was always on Tyler probably did this with a lot of help from leftists. And I don't understand why they're not ringing up all of these people. It was a direct line for me from big leftist conspiracy to never mind, maybe, big hoax conspiracy. So, it's like when I look at this stuff, I'm really trying to figure out what happened. Anyway, how did that come from? How did I get there from Andrew define beta male Wilson? That's a Fed slapper. And you want to know why? Because I don't think that's what he is. I just think he hasn't looked at the case as surgically, and he's probably friends with a lot of these guys. And so they, if one of my friends tells me, look, this is what's going on, I'm just going to take that as gospel, and the people he's talking to might be compromised, or they might just be looking superficially at the case and they don't think it's worth their time to look at it surgically. Because as soon as you do that, it's like, maybe not so much, dude. Avid crying out. Thank you very much. Jeannie, thank you. You wanted me to remind you to mod me. I will, dude. Excellent listening skills and follow through. Now I will go and do that exactly now, because I can't do it from Yard. And so oh man, how am I going to do this though? Okay, so chat something again so that you hit the, oh, there you are. There you go. And oops. And bam, bam. You are an anointed mod. Welcome to the team. Okay, Charity Robinson, thank you very much. Did you know about Colvitz tied to the music industry? No, I actually have seen, I know he's tied into the entertainment business for sure, but not, he wrote music for Ed Sheeran. Huh. Diddy and Ed Sheeran have had multiple shout outs to each other. Anybody investigating him? So, man, that's interesting. I don't know. I don't think that being connected to anybody who's in the music business has some kind of connection to Diddy, who is a fucking monster, by the way. But listen, hey, you want to know what's worse than prison for Diddy is knowing that when he comes out, every person on earth knows that you have a micro penis. That's a tough one. That's a tough pill to swallow. It's like, no, everyone's seen it, dude. Everyone saw it. They all saw it, dude. Are you going to convince us that someone doctored that? Someone doctored that image. Hey, dude, what if Diddy comes out? What if Diddy comes out and he leaks a sex tape and it's all of a sudden in this sex tape, he's got like a 13-inch rod. He's all, what? He's all, no. He's all, oh, dude, someone doctored that other one. This is legit. This one's legit. It's like, people start interviewing all the girls that he graped. They're all, no. For as uncomfortable as it was to get graped by, it could have been a lot worse, is all I'm saying. That's a terrible fucking joke. I apologize for it as soon as I said it. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like, I don't think that makes Colvin like, culpable on sex trafficking just because he knows Ed Sheeran and Ed Sheeran knows Diddy. But I mean, it's worth looking into, I guess. The Ed Sheeran, it's funny because I love watches, and my wife thought it was like the most like the funniest thing ever that when she found out that John Mayer is a hugely influential watch collector, to the point where the green face gold Daytona is called the John Mayer, and it sells for like 3x what it is retailed for. And she's like, really, John Mayer? And she's like, who else? And I was like, Ed Sheeran. She's like, Ed Sheeran. I was like, yeah, Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran doesn't like Rolexes, but he's like a huge watch collector. And I find that extraordinarily bizarre too. It's like, Ed Sheeran, huh? He just doesn't strike me as a dude who's all, I mean, maybe, who knows? I don't know these guys. He writes songs. He's a ginger, which means he's cool. Excellent question. Neil and Kathy Franklin. Why would he have to fake his death after Trump won? So he wouldn't have to in the short term. However, what I'm saying is like the whole, and again, there's no way for me to know any of this, right? I'm just trying to make it make sense. Cause like, if I start seeing things like, here's my total train of thought was, okay, I literally never even looked at any of this TPUSA stuff because I thought it was crazy. I always have defended Candace no matter what she's doing because I trust her. And that doesn't mean that I trust that she's right. It means that I trust that her motives are right. Like I believe that her heart's in the right place, and that's all I ever care about. I disagree with people all the time. It's the curse of having I don't know what you would call it. I can never take things for granted ever. Like I have to go look at things for myself. And that means I generally disagree with people a lot, but it doesn't mean that I'm upset about it. And so I've always had her back on that. But in terms of the TPUSA angle, I was just like, dude, I mean, I understand she knows them personally, so she would know more than I would, but I just can't get my head there. And so it was only when I finally was like, okay, let me just at least look at what they've been talking about. And it was like all at once. I saw all of this stuff all at once where I had not really been looking at all. It's like Mikey McCoy slow walks away. He's just all, hello, Erica. It's about to happen. Mm-hmm. It's about to happen right now. Yep. Okay. Boom. Okay. It went off. He's shot. Like it looks fine. I don't think anything went wrong. I'm just going to slowly walk. This is totally normal. This is what would happen if, my mentor had his head shot off right in front of me. I would not be scared. I would just slowly walk. I'm like, what the fuck? What on earth is that? Same sitting is when I went and revisited the Terrell Farnsworth, wall thing where Farnsworth is, because I remember that happening the day that it happened. I remember watching one of the videos where someone was running down that hallway and you could see that someone was standing on the wall and just filming and I remember being like, what the fuck is that guy doing? What is that dude? That guy who's on the wall, what is he doing? Who would do that? You're at a school, dude. Like you're at a school. Someone gets shot. You got to assume there's a lot more coming, dude. Like that's, Charlie getting shot. Maybe it's a targeted assassination, but also some crazy ass kid who decides that he's going to, shoot up a school. And he's like, oh, I don't really know where I'm going to start. I mean, the guy with the microphone seems like a good place to start if you're trying to create mass terror. There's no way that anybody could take for granted that they are in any way safe. So why is he standing on the wall over there completely chilling? That makes no sense. And then when I realized that Farnsworth, when I, looked at it, and Farnsworth from standing on the wall had captured an absolutely flawless cell phone video of security carrying Charlie to the SUV. I was like, wait. And then from there, he walked over and then took the SD card out of his own camera. Those are his actions immediately following this. Charlie gets shot right in front of him. He's literally directly to the right of where Charlie is. And he calmly gets into a perfect position to capture a shot. He's the AV guy, captures it, and then turns the camera on himself and goes, let me do this perfectly. Because he was wearing sunglasses. He's all, they shot Charlie. They shot Charlie. God help him. He's dead. And I was like, he's dead. He's dead. I watched him look. Charlie gets shot. He turns. He walks down that hallway, goes and stands on the wall. Okay, so I also have a perfect view of what he has seen since then because he's on the wall and he captures them carrying Charlie to the SUV, which, by the way, very curiously, has a total lack of a blood trail. You know who told me that? Dubs. My buddy Dubs, who has a great channel. You guys should go follow it. He did 24 24 years in prison. He got convicted of first degree murder. He was 19 years old. 9 or 10 of that was in Pelican Bay, and then he reformed his life. He got out, whatever. And he's the one who was like, you know what's weird about that, dude? He's like, there's no blood trail. Okay. If you guys don't know what Pelican Bay is, why don't you go look that up and then try to imagine how many people he's seen get, stretchered off after being wounded like that. He's he jumped off. He's like, there's something that's weird, man. There's no blood trail. So I'm like, okay, so there's no blood trail. That's really odd. And also Farnsworth, that means Farnsworth was looking at it and he sees that like there's no blood trail. How is he going to be like, he's dead? How could that possibly be what someone would say about their friend? Like he's their friend. He's a super close friend. You would say, God help him. And then you would be pleading with God to save his life. Because there is no, what data could have come into his brain that would lead him to be like, he's dead? That makes no sense. So I'm like, okay, well, if that doesn't make sense, then why would he say it? What answers all of those questions? This is what I'm saying. I don't know if he's alive. What I'm saying is every time that I'm trying to figure out why people behaved weird, if I insert that as the answer, it answers it every time. Every fucking time. This is just one example of a million of them where it's like, okay, so he runs up there. So he says he's dead. Okay, well, it makes sense if he wanted to capture a perfect piece of footage of Charlie being carried to the SUV because there's a bigger thing going on here and they're going to be the ones who control what clips go out on the internet because they're telling a narrative. And if he says he's dead, why do you think that he would say that? Because he wants to make sure that that is what is implanted into people's brains, and it's the same thing as, that's why I never it never made sense to me that it was a coincidence. They're like, how many trans shooters have there been in the blah, 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 bang, trans shooter? And you're like, that's convenient. So trans shooter. So, and it was when, and by the way, for the 1000th time, I'm only still talking about this because I've said from the beginning, if this is somewhere near anything that is even moderately accurate, all they have to do is hit me up and go, stop talking about this. I'll never talk about it ever again. Not once. This is not I'm not trying to trap you guys. Okay. Like if you're watching me say this and you think I'm trying to fucking trap you, I'm not. I know you have Peter Thiel go through my phone and see if I've ever said anything, even use the AI, haven't listened to every fucking call I've ever made, every time I've talked to my wife, every single time. There's no traps. If you don't want me to talk about it, tell me. I will never speak about it again. Or if you want to leverage my brain for better things, you know what I mean? Because I trust Charlie, dude. I will say it. I've said it before. I will say it again. I also am just incapable of looking at things and not saying what I think is going on. So, and again, which brings us back to, so wait a second. They like got every person who was admitted to the emergency room and they moved them out of the hospital that Charlie was going to be going to 2 hours before he was shot. Yes. Okay. Well, so it could mean that Erica and them are evil and they were knowing they were going to kill him. So that's why they did it. You're all, what? It's the hospital. That's where you go to help people, right? Why would you get everyone out of there? because, I don't know, reasons. It's like, well, I can think of one if I'm right, which is, they've got a lot of fucking moving parts here and they want to make sure that there are no people who are going to come in and go, I saw something that doesn't really fit right. You know what I mean? It's like, I can insert that and that starts to make sense. And again, doesn't matter. Okay. Let me continue through these and then we're going to go over to this other clip I was going to show you of Tim Pool. This is literally the only place on the internet where I don't feel crazy. Hey, dude, that is concerning for you because no one has ever accused me of being not crazy. Just crazy like a fox. Oh, I never even answered your fucking super chat, dude. I'm sorry. Let me go back to that. So I am not saying that I know for sure why or whatever. This has all been hypothesis, but my hypothesis was only that the fact that Charlie was targeted in the Jack Smith special prosecutor's investigation, targeted. He got a target. I'm sure he got a target letter. And as soon as he gets the target letter, every single night he's laying in bed, he's holding his babies. Okay. This is not a hard place for me to put myself in because I have 3 daughters and I can't even explain to you what that would be like. If you don't have kids, and specifically, I'm not trying to compare like who feels things stronger for, their kids. I don't know what it's like to be a mom, but I could tell you that as a man and a father who for sure is wired the same as Charlie in terms of our responsibility in our own household for our daughters' lives, there's no way I could even start to explain the terror that I would go to sleep with every night thinking about a world where my babies grew up without me there, locked behind a piece of glass. And my own experience, like me being locked away, would not be my concern. I mean, yeah, it'd be fucking terrifying. But the larger concern I would have is like, how am I going to make sure? Like, it would be about the trauma that my daughters would face. The fact that I'm not there, the fact that I can't help them through. Dude, life is fucking hard, man. Life is really hard. And it's only going to get harder as AI puts everyone out of business and there's a future world where hopefully our kids live in a place that is almost devoid of the kind of stress that the majority of people live with. But there's going to be a transition period that is going to be fucking nightmare fuel. It's inevitable. It is going to happen. Everyone just needs to resign themselves to it. Like, it's something that, like, if you find yourself in a world where you are unemployed, looking for work, cannot find work, don't know how you're going to pay bills, like, everyone needs to start to think about consolidating their lives. Okay. And what I mean by that is, now, I can't believe I'm going to go off on this tangent, but I'm going to actually, let me answer your question first. I think that he was facing a level of concern and fear that then is what the spark was, which led to this much larger thing that they ended up implementing. It was but the genesis of the whole thing, the inception of the idea, was Charlie laying in bed and being absolutely paralyzed with fear of his babies having to grow up without him and him being locked in a box and him having no control over whether or not that happens. Because anytime that someone is in that situation with a profile as big as him, you're going to end up on Fake My Death. It's inevitable. It's the only way out, dude. So again, I think also that knowing how genius this guy is, because I can see this whole thing, like I can see all of it in terms of, because it's really like, he would need to find a reason that this helps all of the people who need to be involved in it. And I could think through, basically, you only really need one yes, and that's Trump. But I'm not saying that that's the only reason, but I think that I'm trying to decide how deep into this I want to go. Okay, like as an example, the email that he sent out that said, we're going to be doing a Doge style audit, right, on TPUSA. Okay, well, so everybody interpreted that as, see, he was about to catch them for the crimes they were committing, and that's why they killed him. Everybody was embezzling all this money, and he was about to find out, so we killed him. Well, there's another way to read that, which is that, listen, like if you have Jack Smith's microscope in your house, okay, like in your financial house, you have $100 million going through your company. Like if someone wants to target you for, like if people with real power target you for criminal investigation, and you are suddenly faced with having to examine every single decision that you've made now up against every law that is written down on paper, It's like, I guarantee that so many people have committed a crime that they're not even aware of, because it's like, well, fuck, I didn't even. So if all of a sudden they receive a target letter, they have to look at every single thing that they've done. Almost, I mean, very, very possible that they look around and they're like, holy shit, like if they go this, we're all rung up on stuff that isn't even unethical from I'm saying from my personal perspective, not even unethical. But if he writes a Doe style audit, then he sends that to the team, he dies. Well, not only is he never going to jail, every other person in the company that would have been implicated or dragged down with him in a criminal investigation is now exonerated, because if they ever get investigated for any of that, they just go, listen, that's the Charlie era, man. I don't know. Charlie did all of that stuff. And so Charlie, he goes down, and all the people who are around him that followed him into the fire, they are safe from any future prosecutions. That's what I think is going on there. Again, no idea, no fucking idea. That's my theory, though. And I like telling this because at least people know I'm not fucking willy-nilly throwing this shit out there. Like, it's not like stuff I have not deeply thought through before I started talking about it. Doesn't mean I'm right. You know what I mean? But real quick on the AI thing and people consolidating their lives, because this is coming. Like, this is not, there's no fucking question. This is going to happen, that you're going to start to hear about people that who are very competent. And you always thought of them as, oh, they've always had their shit together. And you're going to hear about them being unemployed for a long time, not being able to find work, not knowing what they're going to do. And what people are going in the short term. And what I mean by the short term is I'm talking like 10 years. While civilization has to figure itself out, assuming that we don't end up, in a nuclear fireball. Like if war does not affect our transition into a new age, then what is going to have to happen is people are going to have to consolidate. And what I'm talking about is like, people are not going to have a world anymore where your fucking 12-year-old is upset if she doesn't have her own room. You know what I mean? It's like, nope. Well, listen, dude, your brother and his wife and their kids live in this state. You guys live in this state. No. Hey, are you guys still going to be facing a gigantic financial calamity if you guys consolidate families and you guys live in the same house permanently, just like you do when you're on vacation? No, I know. You think you could add your parents too? Yes. Okay, cool. How much financial trouble are you in now? None. Right. Because there's going to be a huge reduction in the access to money for people who are used to, which is everyone, going to a job, doing that service, receiving payment, because you're not needed anymore. And I'm talking like, think about a tech company, man. Think about any technology company and the reduction in that workforce. And then think about physical labor, where you're going to have Tesla bots doing everything. So in a future state, you're going to have universal basic income. You're going to have things that are given to you. It's going to be hopefully, like administered by people who do in fact care about the basic like life of, the people that they're responsible for. Because if they do, people will not have to worry about, like they'll have their basic needs met. And because of AI and the technology, it won't be this like crunch where everyone starves. You will actually have the things that you need. But between now and then, people are going to need to consolidate. They're going to have to start living with their family. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to be fucking happier. They'll be happier consolidating their lives versus this crazy ass shit that I don't even understand how this happened. Our kids grow up, and then when they're 18, it's like, okay, see you later. Hey, where do you want to go to school? They're all, oh, I want to go to school in 7 states away. Okay, I'll pay triple to send my baby away so I'd never get to see them. And then hopefully she meets some guy that she falls in love with, and then he takes her to England forever. Fuck that shit. Who like, you want to know how fucking sheep people are? Like how sheep most people are, is that became normal, dude. They're all, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Well, hey, what's the thing that you care most about in the entire world? My kids. Well, what do you think it's going to do to your wife if you like are faced with a situation where you won't see your kids for like 4 years, except for maybe on holidays? Like, she's going to kill her. Like, it'll kill her and it'll kill me. And they're like, well, that's what people do now. Okay. So what are you saying, girl? So that's what you should do. It's like, fuck that shit. Not my fucking family. Everybody get on board. Get your fucking families together. Live in smaller quarters. Everyone will be happier, and it'll make it a lot easier because this is going to happen. Sorry, that's a complete and total tangent that's not relevant to this, but or maybe it's completely irrelevant actually. But okay, so Speakeasy says, thank you for the super chat. Topic versus Andrew Wilson. Evidence points towards Lance Twiggs over Tyler Robinson. Will you take that debate? I don't know, dude. I don't really like doing debates. You know, I would have a conversation, maybe. I got, you know, I don't know. Because I don't like, what do I win if I win? You know what I mean? Like, I'd be completely willing to have the conversation with him and just educate him on why it is common sense for people to think that Lance Twiggs is very likely to have done this. But like, I don't know, dude. I've never done any debate shit before. And I'll tell you, the very first one that I ever did, I did with Destiny. I'd never done a debate before. I didn't even know who the fuck Destiny was, dude. Except for Destiny had said something really nasty about the guy who got shot at the Butler rally. You know, like he said something, something super nasty about the dead firefighter. And so I talked shit about it. I saw that clip talk shit on my channel. And so people were like, ooh, you know, I think I called him a sniveling drug addict or something like that. So there's like, oh, hey, Destiny wants to have you on his show. And I was like, okay, what? I don't, you know, like I'm literally like, I'm a UFC commentator at the time. And I'm like, you know, like, I'm like, oh, is that like, scary, you know? So I went on his show. The stated topic of this conversation was, I think people like him are not able to be objective because they hate Trump so much that it literally breaks their brain and they can't even look at things objectively if he's involved in the story. That's the fucking topic, okay, that we're supposed to be debating. In the middle of this conversation, he starts talking about January 6th, never part of my conversation ever. I actually was like, I don't want to talk about January 6th. Like it's politicized that everybody's using it. It's not worth us talking about. Somehow he walks me into that conversation. He starts talking about the people who, I think it's actually the TPUSA people, the slate of electors thing. And I'm like, okay, I don't know about that, dude. Like, this is not a thing that I pay attention to. He's like, you don't know about the slate of electors? I was like, no, dude, I don't know about the slate of electors. I didn't want to talk about this. And that fucking thing got clipped. Okay. The fact that I said, yeah, I don't want to, you know, the debate is you can't be objective. And then that clip got clipped of me being like, yeah, I don't know about the slate of electors. Because what the fuck does that have to do with me saying that I can just objectively look and go like, you guys are crazy when Trump gets into the conversation? And that ripped around the internet and was all, look at this MAGA influencer who got butt fucked by Destiny. And I'm like, that's hilarious, dude. Are you kidding me? I'm like, did you guys watch the conversation? No, they didn't. They just clipped just that. It's 2 minutes long. That's why I fuck with Kyle Kalinske all the time. Because he's one of those idiots that did that. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Did you, like, you're supposed to be one of these guys. You didn't even watch the conversation. You took that out of context. So put a bad taste in my mouth. You know what I mean? But maybe. Anyway, a voice crying out one. Thank you very much. It's two scenarios. Charlie's either assassinated and everyone around him is pure evil, correct, or he has been in protective custody and Candace has no idea, or she does and she's just stringing us along. Correct. Well, hang on, not for sure correct. There is a world here where leftists did it, and for some reason, like, you know, I don't know, like there hasn't been a single prosecution of all the people who knew about it in advance, who put it up on, you know, on social media. They're all, Charlie's gonna get it September 10th. He's dead. He's gonna be dead. It's like, and I said from the beginning, I'm like, every single person who wrote that out should be in handcuffs and should be facing 50 years in prison. If they knew that Charlie was going to get murdered and they gloated about it on the internet and then he ended up getting murdered, which means they knew, fucking lock them away, make an example of them, bury those motherfuckers, every single one of them. I don't care if when you actually see what that kid looks like, they're like 115 pounds. And they're like, I don't know. I didn't even think it was real. It's like, I don't care. I don't fucking care. You can be in protective custody for the next 50 years. You're going to prison. You know, so I never understood why they weren't. It's like to the point where I assumed that what was probably going on was that Bongino and Cash were running ops on these guys. Like, it's like, okay, they're probably running ops and they're trying to ensnare as many of them as possible. And then for those of you guys who don't know, there was a whole other thing that I ended up involved with where I had to bring it to the feds because So there was a guy, oh shit, I don't even want to tell this story. If he didn't do anything, I don't want to, whatever. But bottom line is I was looking into another leftist guy who was there, and he put stuff up on X that I thought might be some kind of cipher where he's delivering information around. All I'm saying is I was very serious about investigating those guys. And I mean, it is possible that they did it. I don't even know why I'm saying it like that's like this crazy outlandish idea that leftists actually killed Charlie, but that is possible also. It's all a matter of percentages. And there's so much stuff that I can't explain in terms of people's behavior. And that's how I judge everything. Like my entire life is all built on understanding people's behavior. Like I can't do spreadsheets, man. I can't do spreadsheets. I can't do any left wing or left brain thing at all. If you make a list of things that indicate high functioning left brain and then put them in front of me, and you will literally have a list of things that I am incompetent of doing. And then on the other side, it's like, so how have you done anything with your life? It's like, well, take that to the other side and just go max volume on every other thing that goes on the other side. I am a fucking moron over here and I make up for it over there. And so I just look at people and I'm like, I've seen this movie before. I know exactly what that person would do in this situation because his eyeballs, the way he carries his eyes, if you do this to him, look identical to that guy, that guy, that guy. And all three of those guys did this exact behavior. So I already know what that guy's going to do, except multiply that by an entire lifetime of playing this game algorithmically. So it's like, that's why like on the stuff of the day of, they're like, well, how do you explain cavitation on his neck? I'm like, I don't need to explain that. All I need to know is that it's possible. It's possible to do that without it actually being real. And candidly, dude, some very smart people who I have a lot of respect for have brought that problem to me. And I'm like, I mean, have you seen The Bourne Identity? Have you seen you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, there's a lot of movies that have very believable effects. And then I watched like that one video that everybody shows of the guy demonstrating the blood effects on the neck, which was done 4 years prior to this incident. I'm like, that looks pretty that looks nearly identical. But again, it doesn't mean that's what they were doing. You know what I mean? But in terms of Candace though, this is what I always say is like, take what I just said, look at them and I can figure them out. Candace is not in that group. Like I know enough about her to know that if she was running an op on me, I wouldn't know. Like, bottom line. I don't feel that I would be able to sniff it out because and that's a compliment to her, you know? Although I don't see, like, I can't, but I also can't back into any motivation she would have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I've tried, believe me, I've tried. And I'm like, like if she's running an op, like this today being a perfect example, like what possible motivation would she have to point to a story where they emptied out the ER 2 hours in advance of Charlie being shot? If she is trying to like, if my hypothesis is right and she's trying to like move the pieces around so that people don't see it, unless she's trying to drive people to that direction without saying it herself. That's the only thing I could think of. But why would she do that? You know what I mean? Also, and there's no verification that story is even true, just for the record. But okay, Ramarog, thank you for the super chat, good sir. He says, check into the guy that was detained at the crime scene was wearing a white poncho similar to what the guy had on the roof was wearing, only that was darker color. Okay, I can look into that. I could definitely look into that. And dude, listen. Anybody who knows, talks to me about this stuff consistently will be able to validate. They're like I genuinely do not do, like, I don't get attached to things because I want to be right. Like literally yesterday in a group chat with like a lot of the influencers that we all like watch that I'm in the group chat with, like we were talking about the that thing that's hanging off Charlie when they're carrying him. And there was like a Instagram. And it was like, what is this? It's like a blood tube. And in that image, well, look at this. The person I was talking to calling me now. What's up, dude? Are you watching my stream? Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? You're not watching right now? Dude, I literally was just this second telling the story about the blood tube and then the necklace and the HD image that I sent to you guys. Like right now, right this second. I was literally referencing you in the story right this second. But is it urgent or can I call you after the stream? Okay. All right, later. That's so funny, dude. That's trigger smart. And yeah, so like we were talking about that, like the image of the tube coming off. I can't show it. It demonetizes the stream every time, or the video. And me and Mr. Let Go were like, dude, look at this. It looks like there's a tube hanging off of Charlie when they're carrying him. And Trigger Smart and Baron are like, it's a chain, dude. And we're like, what? Like, how the fuck is this a chain? Like, it doesn't look like a chain. And we were going back and forth about that. Oh, dude, there's a clasp on it. There's whatever. So we were sending the pictures. I'm like, where the fuck is the clasp? Like, I'm not saying that it's a tube. I'm just saying, like, how on earth can you look at this image and say it's a necklace? It makes no sense. So we were going back and forth about that yesterday. And then today, one of my buddies who I asked him about it. He sent me the HD images and it's definitely his chain. And so I was like, oh, fuck. And then so I took the pictures and I sent it to the group. I was like, you guys are right. It's the chain. You know, like that's what I'm saying. If there's new information, I don't get attached to being right. And I feel obligated to say when I'm wrong. You know, it's just one of those things. But Red, White, and Truth, thank you very much, dude. I have a Polish Schmeke. Oh, yeah. I need to get built out. Do you know anyone in Austin? I live in the burbs who could completely do it. I tried emailing Love Your Cut. My man, no, I don't. Absolutely not. I don't even understand the question. Like, if you live in Austin, why don't you just buy one? It's not, you know what I mean? And at the store. That would be my suggestion, is if you have a Texas identification card, you just go into the store and you can buy anything that you want as long as you're not a felon. And if you're a felon and you're asking me to help you get one, I wouldn't. But I appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. PM Miller, thank you very much. I heard you like money. Dude, I'm five, dude. I heard you like money. You must be a South Park fan like me. That's fucking funny, dude. Henny BS, same deal as Genie. I don't even know what that means, but I will go look at it. All searches of my super chats never make it to be read by you live. I just want to say I love you and your family. Love the ADHD. Totally relate. Thank you very much. And I think of it as a superpower. For, you know, it's like your brain is set to hyper. Like, my wife always talks about that. She's like, because the side of it that people don't see, they're all, oh, they have ADHD. It's like, yeah, but you don't see the part where, oh, I'm interested in this. And it's like, my wife calls it hyper focus, where I don't hear anyone. Like, I don't hear anyone. And they're like, oh, it was ADD. It's like, yeah, that's because I just did 3 hours of work in 25 minutes on full lock-in. You know what I mean? But, you know, people want to talk to you. Sometimes it's hard. Jesse, the guy they're showing on the roof doesn't have the blue jeans and the t-shirt he was wearing. It's, yeah, totally 100%. There's a lot of problems with that. Did I? Ugh, whatever. I'll go get it. But yeah, that video is very problematic. That's actually, you know what? I'm going to take a break from these and I'm going to show you what Tim Pool said. And then I'm going to react to that, because I just realized I have so many clips still and we haven't even gotten through even a few of them. Okay. So here is the Tim Pool clip, and I'll respond to this shortly here. Boop.
A man running across the rooftop in Utah, taking a prone position, then getting up and running. We can't really discern much from this video other than it is new footage that apparently comes from Utah. We don't know if it's the proper date. We don't know if it's real footage. It could have been staged after the fact. We don't know. Now, the people who believe Charlie Kirk was assassinated not by Tyler Robinson, the people who believe Candace Owens are just going to believe Candace Owens in this capacity. And Alex Jones has made a series of statements which are just plumb not true. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to tell you who you should trust or not trust. I'm just going to point out what we know about this footage. And I'm going to just say right now, right off the bat, there is no evidence, at least as far as I can tell, that the footage released by Candace Owens is from the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That's it. Somebody can go right now and film this video, upload it, and claim it's from the time that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There's no verification of this. I'll tell you my assessment. Right.
Oops. So that was my immediate reaction also. Like when I first saw it, I was like, how do we even know that this is from that day? I said the exact same thing. Do you want to know how we know? It's because the response from the people who are arguing with Candace on X all the time was, why didn't you show the additional 7 minutes? That's what they all said. Their problem with what she showed was that she had supposedly cut out the 7-minute portion where he builds the rifle. So as far as I can tell, they're the ones who verified that this is the video that was shown.
Off the bat, just so you know where I'm coming from, and you don't have to like me, you can comment below, but I'm going to tell you my bias. I believe that Candace Owens is deep state. I believe that, she married a British lord. Their story, 2 weeks after they meet, they go on no dates. He calls her on the phone and says, let's get married. And she goes, sure. She marries into the British House of Lords. Her lawyers work in a building with federal agents by her own admission. I just don't believe any of this is real. I believe that her goal and her intention, and the reason why the ad rates on content related to her and Erica Kirk are extremely high, I believe it's all fake. It's all intentional. And, look, they come after me for saying things like this. But let's go over the story, and then I'll talk.
Well, if I was going to pull out group chats, I said that the other day. I actually said that where I was like, it's possible, because like I said, humans, well, I think I was talking about this yesterday. Humans are extraordinarily predictable. And I say that in so much as like, you will know what a YouTube, content creator is going to be talking about based on the view counts that the videos get and the revenue, the amount of money they get paid per view, right? Like, so if you're if you're me and I'm making, I don't know, like let's, I talk about Fauci and my video gets 50,000 views at an absolute maximum and I get paid, a $7 RPM. And I talk about fill in the blank, any other thing. And I can do 150,000 views, 3X, and I get paid $13. It's like, so 3 times the views at twice the rate. Why would I waste my time talking about, Fauci if that's going to be the case? And that's exactly how, so if you think about that, it's not hard to push and pull people in terms of what they're going to talk about. You know what I mean? And make no mistake about it, talking about this case is absolutely that. But it also very likely is just that there's so much interest in this case that advertisers want to get in front of them. And especially given the fact that I think that the demographic of people who pay attention to this are smart people. Smart people tend to have more expendable income, ipso facto, more valuable. But again, regardless of the reason, there is clearly an incentive to cover things related to this case. Now, like I said, I would never say anything about the case I didn't think was accurate. I might potentially not misrepresent. I might act as if I think that some other option other than my main one is more likely than I actually do, but I would never say I think something's possible if I think it's impossible. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's he wants to talk about Alex Jones though, so I'm going to let him get to that.
Talk to you about my personal opinions on this one. Sports Keita says Candace Owens releases footage of a man not resembling Tyler Robinson on the rooftop doing lateral crawl before Charlie Kirk's assassination. We don't know when this footage is from. It's coming from an unofficial source. Somebody could go right now on the roof and film this video. This is just, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. It's the most demoralizing thing ever. I got to tell you this. And if ever there was anything that was going to make me just give up, it's this. It is the evil, the lies, the manipulation. All right, let's pull up the video here. And the funny thing is, look at Sportskeeda titles it not resembling Tyler Robinson. Shadow of Ezra said, Candace Owens releases never-before-seen footage of the person on the rooftop during the Charlie Kirk assassination who does resemble Tyler Robinson. You know what? You see what I'm talking about? I'm not interested in any of this, okay? Let's pull up what Alex Jones had to say.
This is why I wanted to show this.
Who is also, I believe, putting out... Look, Alex, I'm just uninterested in fake, okay? Here's what Alex Jones says. The official Charlie Kirk assassination story is now 100% dead. It's not. Candace Owens just dropped powerful, never before seen surveillance video of the Losi Center rooftop. She didn't. It was filmed, I believe, on cell phone. I believe Candace specifically stated it was a guy who was filming, not surveillance footage. The video Owens released appears to be raw and unedited. This is the same footage the court will not let the public see. We don't know that we are meant to believe is Tyler Robinson assassinating Kirk. The individual does not look like Tyler Robinson. In fact, the individual doesn't look like anybody. It's a grainy, low-res, faraway cell phone video. The rifle is never pulled from the...
Hey, we agree on that. So again, it's like, all right, well then can we acknowledge that if that is what they saw in the trial, that the way that they presented it, Benny Johnson, Officer Tatum, Jack Posobiec, like if that is what they saw, and then they came out and said the words, it is perfect HD 4K, and you can see Tyler Robinson take the shot, that would be lies, right? Like that would be lies. So if that's not the footage they saw, why are they not on X saying that's not the footage we saw? I mean, this is just like, this is, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty easy to back into, right? It's like in the event that she showed footage that was not from the case, why would they not say it's not from the case? Okay. So I'm going to leave it there actually, because now I feel like I need to respond to this, and I'll show you exactly what they are actually saying about this. Okay. So why is this a big deal that she showed this? According to many people on the, on the opposed, I don't even know why their sides this, right? I mean, obviously, if there are people who are actually trying to like trick people, then yeah, of course, that would be a reprehensible thing to do. But people pointing out problems with the case that just happen to have a different opinion, I don't know, like, what's the issue there? Okay. But the people who are on that side, why don't you check this out? Okay. This is what they're saying. If Candace has all her electronics seized, try not to be shocked. And exactly what is this in response to? This is in response to her saying what?
And most people don't even see a gun. I would like to stress that. We have seen no evidence that there was even a gun on the rooftop. Even our source, the person who recorded.
Even our source, the person who recorded.
In that recording, he doesn't say or show a gun.
So that right there, this is Matt Tardio, who I have no issue with. But that's the same guy who was on the Charlie Kirk show using Valhalla's footage, or Valhalla's video where he shot the pig. And he was saying that Nate thinks that the 30-06 could have stopped in Charlie's neck, which was definitely not what Nate's conclusion was. And so it was, that's anyway, I don't know, Matt. Nate does. And he was like, yeah, don't go too hard on him. I'm like, all right. I mean, so he could be a good dude, whatever. But bottom line is like, that was clearly a thing that was shaped and massaged in the direction of official narrative against what the actual conclusion of that video was. And so it's, ipso facto, right? If he's saying like, if all her stuff gets seized, that seems like a confirmation that that was in fact the video that was shown in the courtroom. And if Candace, kind of accidentally said that, whatever, I don't know, whoever recorded it. First of all, that would not be a problem for Candace. That would be a problem for person who recorded it, violated a court order. As far as I understand it, this is not my wheelhouse. But I would assume that journalists who go into the courtroom and again, this is absolute stone speculation. I have no idea. Right. but the reactions of everybody seem to indicate that that is the same footage is all I'm saying here. Okay. So Candace says here, she said, if I have all my electronics seized, try not to be shocked when every piece of footage and evidence hits the internet immediately anyway. When an investigation is truly decentralized, there is no nucleus that can be captured. Yep. Open source. But yeah. And the reason why I, again, wanted to show that is because these are the people, right? Blake Neff says, so you're sitting on supposed evidence even while a criminal trial is ongoing. Sounds like you don't care about finding the truth as much as you care about extending your grift, that your evidence is all bogus anyway, or who are we kidding? Both. So again, the framing of that is, so I'm just going to assume that Candace, like I have believed all along, is doing what she thinks is right, and she's actually trying to solve this thing, right? So if that's the case, then this would indicate that she does not believe that TPUSA had anything to do with this. And I think she does. And so when it's like, that's like the core disagreement between them is they are like, obviously we have nothing to do with this. And she's like, yeah, but I think you did, because you lied to me about this. 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 And of course I have been evaluating all along. Is there any way that Candace is somehow, like, as soon as I started even entertaining that maybe this was some kind of WITSEC thing, and so they hoaxed it, because who knows? Like, dude, maybe they did that because Netanyahu was going to whack Charlie out, and they found out. They're like, we got to take him off the map, man. Because it doesn't really seem like our decision makers are in a very good position to tell those guys that they can't do things. You know what I mean? To the point where if they found out that they were going to whack out one of our guys, an inner circle person, I don't think it's impossible that they go, I can't protect you by telling them they can't do it. And the only way you'd be able to be protected is if we take them off the map, put them in WITSEC. I mean, I don't know, man. But nonetheless, it's like, from her coverage is where I started looking at them. And again, I dismiss the idea that there was any chance that TPUSA was involved in killing Charlie. I dismiss it. That would be the outcome. If that ended up being true, you could knock me over with a feather and I would not wake up for a month. I would be like, how could I have been so sure? Because I put, like, from my perspective, that is at a percentage that's not even calculable. But again, I might be giving the benefit of the doubt to people because it's unfathomable to me to ever conspire against anyone that I love like that. Rooftop Rabbit says if he faked it, then he's Z10 trash. Oh, I know what you're saying. I think it might be the opposite, though. Like I just laid out. That's interesting. I actually didn't even see that. And that super chat's from 40 minutes ago. But it's me, Jenk, is a YouTube member. Welcome, dude. Go watch my early stuff. I tell hilarious stories I would never tell publicly. Like I indicated yesterday, where like I said, I'm pretty sure the first members only story I told was about the night where my first college girlfriend, when I was just a young buck with a soft little heart that hadn't been jaded over. Okay. I was a soft little boy at a tender age of 19. When my first college girlfriend was like, I'm going to go to this birthday party. It's my birthday and my friends from home are throwing me a party. And then, I'll call you when it's done and then we'll hang out. And then tomorrow you can take me out to dinner. Never heard from her. Didn't get to see her till I was taking her out to dinner the next day with flowers and, a card and a gift. And then I found a used condom in her trash can. True story. And from that moment on, I went from a little babe in the woods to a hardened, I can't feel anything for anyone anymore person. Just kidding. But that was a pretty rough day. I told that story. Ms. Mac, thank you for the super chat. Is all in black guy is wearing an, good Lord, is that your real picture? Don't ever do that to a boy. You'll shatter his little heart. Okay. He won't be able to take it. I'm just kidding. All in black guy is wearing an Alero brand hat, while the maroon shirt guy's wearing a Hurley hat. Not sure why defensive. This is what I 100% agree with you. There is, well, maybe at the actual trial they will. But I'll tell you this, dude, as all of us are assuming that this does get to trial and it doesn't end when Lance, is found and he has a note that's like, I did it. It was me. And I framed Tyler. He's innocent. And here is how I can prove it. And so Tyler walks free and Lance is no more. And it's a closed loop. The leftists did it. There was a conspiracy. It turns out, it was Lance and you guys helped sniff it out. And then Lance, on his deathbed, confessed. And we validated it because of blah, blah, blah. Some kind of evidence that he has that proves that he's the one who did it. And then everybody, and by the way, hypothetically, if that does happen and it happens in September, and the only reason I say that is because in the event that you needed somebody to sign on and play the role of, Tyler, if they're going to have to do time in a box, a 1-year commitment would be the way I would frame it. I'd be like 1 year. You got to do it for 1 year. And then when you get out, XYZ. So, and it's possible that me just having said this might have added a month onto this kid's sentence, because they're like, shit, now we can't do it in September. We're going to have to do it in October. But again, who knows? Who knows, dude? But yes, I do totally agree with you. And when the real trial starts, that's when we'll really start to be able to be looking at the defense and being like, what are you doing? Because I can promise you the combined knowledge of the group that has been investigating this from the beginning, there's not going to be a person who knows this case better than us combined. You know what I mean? Like on my group chat, the group chat of my guys that I talk to, you have all of these different, approaches to the investigation, all types of things that everybody analyzes, certain things that everyone's good at. Like you take that combined hive mind and specific expertise that all of us have, good fucking luck, dude. Study everything that you want. No one will know the case better than us. No one. But anyway, how much can someone bleed without a heartbeat? Not my wheelhouse. Ask Valhalla or any of these military guys, 100% of which have all said that amount of blood is impossible. And, all of them, like for a non-military guy, I know a lot of guys who are very like kind of high level operators. And the ones who went on a lot of combat tours, all of them have said the exact same thing, which is that the amount of, they just, most of them, they'll tell me like stories of similar things. They're like, dude, if you really were trying to get into that, they're like, you can't even fathom the amount of blood that comes out of the human body in those situations. And I've heard the the heart's not beating, whatever. And it's like, they're like, no, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, it's like they would be absolutely covered head to toe. But yeah, again, this though, not my wheelhouse. I'm just repeating what people I consider much more credible than me have said on it. Owen Schroyer discussed it being fake on a show. Nice, dude. If you email me a link to that would be awesome. It's I did a show with Sean Johnson, who's a Navy SEAL, and we got to do another episode. That was really fun. And Alex Jones, and we talked about that. And he's like I think he said 3. I don't want to misquote this because this was a big deal. Alex misquoted how many combat tours he had. I think Alex said I don't know. Alex said a lot, and I think the accurate number was 3, but then, he did a bunch of private security stuff. And so I love talking to people like that because I can just go like this. Like, I don't have to think. All I do is ask question, and then whatever they say comes back as gospel. And so he had a lot of stuff to say about why have I not had him on my show? I'm going to definitely do that. But he had a lot of stuff to say about the security's behavior, about the blood, about all of that stuff. And he was someone who, the reason that ended up happening is because when I did Alex's show, Alex shared with me that immediately when the event happened, that there were a lot of operators who said to Alex, like, that's fake. They didn't believe it was real. And I'm talking immediately, like the day of, and they're like, no way. But they didn't want to say it publicly. And I don't know for sure that Sean was, I won't speak for him. but I will point you in the direction of that episode actually right now, so you guys can watch it if you like on your own. But yeah. Anyway, I'll find that and pull it up in a second. Wait, didn't I just answer that one? Oh, you put it up twice. Sorry about that, dude. We're at I mean, I'm gonna get to all the super chats right now. We're at oh my god, we're 45 minutes behind on super chats. How is that fucking possible? Okay, I know if my wife had been murdered and people were doing their own independent investigations and found new info, I'd want them to go max. Exactly. 100%. Exactly. And that's the other thing, dude. I don't know why, like, sometimes my talk tracks require sunglasses. Other times I'm like, they need to be able to see my eyeballs. I'm not hiding this is just like, maybe someone will be able to figure out why instinctually I put them on or take them off. But in this case, here's my question. Okay. Why would Charlie's organization be so dedicated to proving this specific option? Right? Like what? Like that's one thing. It dawned on me a few weeks ago where I was like, I don't even know. Actually, I take it back. It was almost exactly a week ago, because it was when Matt Tardio was on TPUSA. I'm sorry, on the Charlie Kirk show, and they were talking about it. I'm like, what? I don't even understand. Because like this 30-06 thing is anybody who knows anything about firearms and it knows anything about hunting rifles and knows anything about penetration, like the idea would stop is so unlikely. Why? Like, why don't they have the same questions? I don't understand. I mean, I think I do understand, but I'm saying if I had never looked at the case and I knew about firearms and I saw them pushing so hard that it was a core lock 30-06 round that hit Charlie and stopped inside of his body, like, and then people were going, yeah, that's impossible. Like, I would be like, well, what the fuck? Then who did it? You know what I mean? Like, if it was my organization, I'd be like, who did it then? Because that sounds like a pretty big problem, but like they do the exact opposite, which again, I think I know why, but I don't know for sure. You know what I mean? Wolfie, thank you very much, dude. Owen Schroyer is positive the hands in the casket are fake. His hands are smaller than EK's. Those are mannequin hands, period. So it's funny that you say that, because I agree that they look very small and weird. However, I never get into like this, like in pictures, I never get into, oh, that's fake for sure, or that's whatever for sure, because pictures are so, shifty, especially when it comes to perspective, closer or further from the camera. Okay. Like, check this out. I'll show you. Like when I was in Vegas last weekend with Heavy Duty Country and Valhalla, who are fucking enormous humans. Okay. Like absolutely enormous humans. Okay. I'm 5'10", 195. I am like a completely average sized height person who is a big person in terms of the mass that I carry on my frame. And those guys are both like 6'5", 6'4", like they're fucking huge. Both of them are 6'4" and like 250, 260. They're enormous. And so in the pictures we were taking, I was like, dude, I want to take one where I out angle you guys and it makes it seem like I'm as big or bigger than you guys. And then let's take one picture where we try to make me look as small as possible. And of course, hey, which picture do you think both those guys posted on their social media, by the way? Hilarious. But nonetheless, I'll show you how different those two pictures are, because it's like, okay, here we go. All right. So here is me. Actually, you know what? My cameras, I'm going to have to, I'll email them to myself just to demonstrate the difference between the out angle. Cause like honestly, I actually, for real, I think it is actually super relevant when it comes to this, to the hands, because I was on board with that. But then Barron showed me that the day that it happened, he showed me the burn mark that appears to be on Charlie's hand, he showed me that there's like some kind of like burn mark on Charlie's hand, like the day that it happened. And the burn mark is in fact on those hands. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. And again, when you look at like the out angle is very, very legit, dude. Like very, very legit. Let me pull up these pics just to demonstrate my point. All right, so I'm definitely going to show you the one where I look big first. So this is one of the ones where I was like, let me try to make myself look like the same size as these guys. Okay. I am not the same size as that dude at all. He's way bigger than me. Then there's that dude. And this is just like, oh, cool. I look like a fucking midget, dude. And then this one, that's Nate behind me. So it's like, it's literally, you know, it's a matter of, whoops, that's the wrong tab. Ooh, Nissy put one out. Or yeah, Nissy Social put one. Dude, I love her channel, man. Anyway, but yeah, like, so the hands in the casket, that entire thing. I mean, what is weird about that incident to me is much more about the fact that it seems very obvious that she's mic'd up, or there's a microphone somewhere near her, and that entire thing is like, it looks like a publicity thing. And Candace just put out that they did a mock burial, or like a mock service. It's like, why would you need to do a mock service? And so in that clip, we actually looked at it yesterday. You have the casket. You could clearly see there is a body in there. And I'm like, did they really pay for that casket? And then they didn't bury him, because they're saying like he's not buried. So it's like, so they put him into a casket, and in that service, it was closed. It was a closed casket for like the mock service or whatever. Then they do an open casket service that is on camera here. It seems like she's mic'd up. This whole thing is super weird. And then there's a mystery about where the body went. Like, all of it is super weird, but not the least of which the fact that very clearly seemed to be some kind of media event. You know what I mean? That they did that in general. Bruce Rice just gifted 20 Jesse on Fire memberships. That is incredibly generous. And congratulations to anybody who just got a membership, because I have a lot of members only content. That is, that's not going to be a small amount of content that you just got access to. And generally, how I chose what goes in members only was, there's like 100 videos. It's all stuff that I was like, they'll never let me talk about this on YouTube. Or actually, it's all that. That's basically what it all is. It's like, I will either get a strike, or, you know, because you're allowed to say whatever you want as long as, well, actually, I don't think you're allowed to break community guidelines. It's more, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to stop talking about that. But there's good content there is my point. So then I have, wonder if the feds will release the video footage from Tip Hospital. Yeah, no, I very seriously doubt that. I very seriously doubt that. Thank you for the super chat. Break every chain prayer. Break every chain prayer. Nice, dude. Great work, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. My Canadian brethren. Scott, what's up, dude? Thank you very much. Or they just used the vacant part of the hospital. Wait, what? Are you talking? Because I'm confused. Because the report that Candace said was that they like removed everybody from that part of the hospital. I have no idea. I'm going off of what she said, that was the story that she told. Saki Bomb says, it seems like it was supposed to be fake, but it went wrong intentionally, and now they have leverage over all of his friends and TPUSA that were involved. So that one I struggle with. So the one that is like, they intended to fake it, and then they changed their mind and killed him in the car. Like, that one is one, like, I never push back on people generally if they have a coherent idea of, what happened, and you know, they've thought about it. It's like, I don't put myself above anybody. It's like, these are my ideas, those are yours. But this one I struggle with, because it's like, in order to get on board with they meant to, and I'm not just talking about you, like that. This is a conversation a lot of people have had, is the, you know, oh, well, they probably intended to fake it, but then they killed him in the SUV or whatever. Like, I've heard that a lot. And to me, I'm like, so you're acknowledging that there is an overwhelming amount of evidence that they faked his death, right? It's like, I mean, that's a big acknowledgement to even entertain that next theory. And there is no evidence at all that they like if you get to the point where he's going in the SUV and he's still alive, that then they decided, never mind, we're actually going to kill him. Like there's no evidence of that at all. And so to me, what that always indicates is that like the power of having seen him, get killed on camera, it's like people can't break their brain out of like the assumption he's for sure dead. And again, I'm not saying he's not dead. I'm just saying for this particular theory that I have a hard time with that one for that reason. But contact Owen Schroyer, go mega, dude. I would love to. I don't know how to get a hold of him, but I would love that, dude. I pull up V Squid Game challenge similarity. Jay, pull up V Squid Game challenge. I don't even know what that is. I'll look it up on my phone while I'm doing this. Ethan, what's up, dude? I'm in Portland right now. Don't send them to school there. Yeah, no shit, dude. They're not. Yeah, no, nope. Although two of my really good friends live. I mean, Nate and JD DeLay live in Oregon. Although, yeah, they're not sending their kids to Portland State. That's for sure. If Charlie Kirk is alive, why is he allowing Erica Kirk and Candace Owens to war? That is an excellent question that I have no strong ideas about, other than maybe like without knowing the circuit. First of all, I don't know that he's alive at all. Lance Twiggs could have framed Tyler. Who knows? But in the event that was the case, I don't know one thing I do know for sure is that if he is, there's a lot of people involved. And the only way that a lot of people would be involved is if it has very high level approval, which means you're probably looking at government organizations, which means there's probably very strict legality about who you can tell, who you can't. And I can definitely get to a place where I would imagine a world where they're like, someone who is a necessary yes has some kind of problem with Candace, and they're like, she can't be included. And that would have been the most catastrophic decision of the entire thing in the event that that was correct, because Candace loves Charlie. She's never going to let it go. Like, she's not, if she's outside of this thing, like, she's not going to let it go. And she's super, she's so fucking smart, dude, to where if you know that it's going to require people that she knows personally to lie to her, and they're going to have to pull it off. Like right there, if I'm on the inside of that room, I'm gonna be like, whoa. Hang on, dude. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that if we keep her on the outside of this, what you're saying is that we're going to have, you think she's not going to come to them and ask for information? Because I can absolutely guarantee you she will. And they're going to be like, yeah, well, they just are going to have to stick to their story. It's like, stick to their story with Candace Owens. Have you fucking met her, dude? Are you like, you want Terrell Farnsworth on the phone with her alone, trying to explain to her why he can't send the footage to her? Candace fucking Owens, dude. She'll fucking look at him, and without even asking a question, he's going to have a bead of sweat coming down his forehead. She's terrifying. And she's 100 times smarter than any of the people that you're, fucking relying on to be able to somehow get this through. And she is going to remember every single thing anyone ever tells her. She'll never forget. You tell her that you fucking had raspberry ice cream 2 years before the incident, and that's why you remembered, raspberry whatever that day. That's committed to photographic memory. She'll fucking remember, dude. You have to keep all that shit straight, and you're the one who's lying, and she's not. Because that's the other thing is like, if this is an operation, they are lying, and they're lying about an operation where they appear guilty. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because the only reason that I even got, it's like, okay, if they did this, it appears like they must be involved, but I am confident enough in my read to know these are good people. There's no fucking way that they're going to kill Charlie. That's not possible from my perspective. Impossible. So also, if they did, why are they not afraid of getting the fucking electric chair? Okay, because I'm watching them and they are speaking into a camera. Like, I get a nice long look at their eyes every single day. If someone is feeling the kind of pressure and fear that they would feel if they participated in a fucking murder and people are looking at them going, we know what you did. Okay, you think those guys are going to be able to hold that face together and I won't see it? It's fucking impossible. Impossible. Not possible. Impossible. Too many of them. None of them are afraid of those types of repercussions. So that means they didn't fucking kill him. So, like, you know what I mean? Why would FBI put him in protective custody? fuck, dude, a million. I mean, I don't know, like the, you know what I mean? I think I answered this actually after you put this through, but in case I didn't, it is very, like, I understand why people are suspicious of those guys wanting to whack him out. And I am not even, I would never say they didn't have motive. They absolutely did. And it sounds like they were being pretty, pretty overt with the threats that they were giving him. So maybe that, I have no idea, but possible. Okay. If Trump makes Erica ambassador to Venezuela before he makes it a state, then I might be inclined to believe Charlie is at the Valhalla resort down there. I've never looked super deep into that Valhalla thing, and I'll see you in Valhalla. That is so fucking weird that I have thought that may be some kind of signal that he like anyone who's involved, that's him being like, Charlie's safe or something like that. But I don't know, I saw the TikTok thing. I saw the same TikTok that everybody else saw where it was like, I thought that was New Zealand though. And then Project Constitution said that he found something that Erica had some kind of secret, unlisted, like private government phone down there or something. I don't know. But again, just to reiterate though, like all of this is like, whenever I talk about this, I feel self-conscious enough about it that I feel like I need to say this from the beginning again, or say it again, is that like, I'm looking at the same exact evidence as everybody who is suspicious of TPUSA, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that I don't think that they would do this. That's literally the only difference. The people who are looking at it and going, no, they did this. I'm like, I know, I agree with you. And what I'm saying is, I think it indicates something different. Like we don't disagree on almost anything as it relates to things that appear like very bizarre behavior. You know what I mean? And Isabel, thank you very much. The Wolfie says the video footage from behind that table where he fell would put all doubts away, but nobody is demanding to see that footage. You'd see them pulling tubes and wires off of him. So, I mean, obviously, in the hypothesis that it's not real, that is exactly what you would think if that's what they were doing. Then that, yeah, of course, they would have gone over the table, they would have surrounded him, and they would have looked like they were working on him, but they are, and they would be unhooking whatever contraption would have created that effect. But what someone emailed me, it's very rare that someone emails me something that I'm like, whoa. In this case, this being one of those examples, like someone emailed me who was a private investigator, and he said that he's fully like, no, you're right, that's what happened. But what he said he thinks happened is he thinks that Charlie was sitting in a position where that tunnel that's underneath the ground, where they had a way where they were operating underneath there, and something was like either in his pants. Because I've looked at this a million times and been like, I don't know where they could have connected. I don't have any idea how they would have pulled this off. That's what I'm saying, is like the day of, I don't know, man. All I know is that if it is possible to do, then I don't need to solve it. I just need to know, like, I know that it's possible, and there's people a lot smarter than me who are going to address it. But he thinks that from underneath, they would have had some connection that was going through his jeans, and they would have connected it, tied it on, whatever. And then they would have pulled his jeans to let him know, okay, everything's connected. And at that point, that's when the sequence of signs would have started, where like Charlie touches his nose, then that sets off the sequence where all of them are, it's like ready. And it's some kind of, once this person does that, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, counting or not counting gang violence. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, this is all total hypothesis. Could have been Lance, might be dead. I hope not. Mommy, did I already do that? I saw you in the Discord, but this is not easy for me to manage both things at once. Let me see if you are currently down there, because I have to see it like right when it happens. If you chat right now, I will. It's just 0 honeybee. Okay. Oh, there we go. Got you. Oh, come on. All right. I'll add you right now. Lou. All right. Add mod. Boom. Bam. Done. Okay. It's just 0 still there? I can't tell. Even find out why and what the box he was sitting on was for. Oh, it's me, Jen. Let me see where that is. Wait, it's just me, Jen C. I'm looking for that now. Sorry, guys. Hang on. If I don't do this, I will literally never get it done. Okay, no idea. All right. Anyway, so it's me, Gen C. That's what I was literally just looking for you. There we go. It's just 0. I got you, guy. Add mod. And 0, you are a mod. I'm looking for it's just me, Gen C, but I can't. Oh, there you go. I got you. And bam. Done and done. Okay, done and done. All right. TB Cat Lady. Listen. I'm just going to say that I'm going to derail this to talk about my cats really quick. So my entire life, I was like, ugh, cats. I was like, don't you guys get it, dude? Dogs are the best. And you know what, dude? If you died, your cat would just like eat you. Cats are not cool. Dogs are the best. I am like 100% converted. My family fucking broke my balls so much that I finally gave in. I literally have never loved animals like I love my cats, dude. Like I would, if someone fucking came into my house and was trying to hurt my cats, I would fucking cut their tongues out of their head and feed them to the cats. I love my cats. They don't need, I'm going to actually just break this entire stream if I start talking about them, but I love them very much. Okay. So if it was fake, why would he allow his wife to be put into his place? Oh, no. Okay. Excellent question. That is one of the key pieces of evidence in terms of behavior where I was like, oh, okay. Here's the better question. Why would Erica become CEO if it's not fake? It's like, I thought she's like trad wife or whatever. Like, I know that like in reality, she's got a background in a lot of different things. And she's obviously wore a lot of hats with a pretty interesting family, background in military and defense contract, whatever, which anyway, without any of that. But if Charlie was going to get pulled off the map and he puts her in the CEO role, well, she's his proxy. Like that's my hypothesis from the beginning. He's been behind the scenes running it all along. That's why she got put in. But again, this is all just hypothesis, but that would be why he would have put her in that role, which again, and I will just come back to this again, is so tragic about this whole thing. If people really like it, if people trust Charlie the way I do, where I'm like, if he's doing this, then there's a reason he's doing it that I would be on board with it. I would support. And so I'll just take that for granted that if that's what's going on, then when you look at everything, you're like, dude, these people are attacking his wife because they think that she's evil and betrayed him, when in reality, he trusted her so much that he literally turned his life's work over to her to run as his proxy, because it's the exact 100% inverse of what everybody thinks they're looking at. It's like she actually was so loyal to him and he trusted her that much that he put her in that spot so that, and he knew that was and then everybody interprets it exactly the opposite. Again, first of all, I don't even know if I'm right. I could completely be wrong. It could be dead and all this could be whatever, and if I am right, I still don't know if my read on why they're doing it is right. There could be a way bigger thing at play, like there could be a thing where Charlie recognized, I'm not even. How we're almost in World War III here, guys. That thing over there that has like is turned into a potential problem that no one can even wrap their brain around. Listen, Bustamante, fucking Bustamante put out a video today that says China has invaded Taiwan. What is America going to do? And I looked at that and I already clocked it. I was like, we have no ability to respond to that. If China invades Taiwan and they ensnare all of our the conductor, whatever manufacturing. And they're like, oh, hey, all those rare earth minerals that you guys want? We have 97% of them. Oh, hey, the superconductors? Yeah, we have that now too, because we took Taiwan. Hey, you guys going to come defend Taiwan? You guys said you were going to defend Taiwan. What are you going to do? I hear you guys are having some problems over there. Do you guys have a lot of missile defenders? Oh, you don't have any ability to wage war at all now? Cool. Well, I guess that's a wrap for you. How's that petrodollar? You know what I mean? Like I'm watching, I'm like, and then it turned out Bustamante, he made that the fucking headline. And then he goes, he lays out the scenario like that's actually happening. And then he's all, this is the situation that we at CIA are all terrified is going to happen. I'm like, are you fucking serious, dude? You just gave me 2 minutes where I legitimately thought we were in World War III for real. Like nukes are on the table now. And it was just like this is a way for me to get your attention. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's fucked up, man. But again, if they did that, that is the situation we would be in. We'd have essentially no ability to respond with any kind of conventional response. Like you are instantly talking about mass, like nightmare fuel. And how did we get in that situation? How did that sequence of events happen? And who had more insight into the potential for that happening than our guy? And so all I know, Charlie knows a lot more about everything that's going on than I do. And so maybe there's some larger purpose that, who knows? You know what I mean? All I know is he's smarter than me. Or was, or is, or whatever. I don't know how to tense that. But I do like the fact that where your brain's at is that it would be putting his wife in danger, because that's how I think too, dude. I would never want to expose Gabrielle to any kind of physical or emotional danger. Seth Hill, thank you very much, dude. And it's your anniversary or your birthday, 2 months. Thank you, Jesse, for the months. Keep up the good work, Jesse. Look into the new medical examiner of Utah Bays touched on the other night. There were two. Oh, dude, there is a thing from Bays' video the other night that I wanted to show. I completely forgot about that. I'm going to pull that up here in a second. Let me actually do that so I don't forget. Bays, because Bays had he had someone on his show who was a TPUSA insider who left. Was that a video or a? Let me see. Former TPUSA. Here it is. Okay. Oh yeah, we're going to look at that in a second. Broke Simulation. What's up, dude? They're misinterpreting her source. She's talking about the dude who sent her the video showing the shooter laying on the roof. No, I know, but I think that what they're saying is that the person who sent that to her recorded it from the trial, and then the judge issued the gag order or the like they didn't want people to show that video. So I think that's what they're saying is I think that's what they're saying is that they recorded it from inside the courtroom and they sent it to her, and that's why they would have their stuff seized or whatever. James Blackburn, thank you very much. Charlie could have easily got a presidential pardon and not had to worry about prison. And as influential as Charlie was, how many people in his circle were plants and handlers, so to speak? Certainly not zero. No, I mean, the people in his circle being plants, that's speculation for sure. I mean, I'm not saying that they weren't, but that's total speculation. You would think probably a fair number since he was, a potential, president, whatever, but you don't know that for sure. But the presidential pardon thing assumes that there's not, again, something larger than just that going on. I'm not saying the only reason that he did it was the fact that he had gotten targeted in the Jack Smith investigation. I said that I think likely if this is what happened, the genesis of the idea would have been from that. You know what I mean? And again, in the thing that we were discussing earlier, I was saying like there's a world where him doing this would end up clearing anyone who was also implicated in whatever stuff could get dug up by investigations later on. I'm glad so many, including myself, you keep pushing hard to find the truth out of all this. Listen, and what's up, Outlaw? How are you, dude? It's like the case is just never. I don't think that there's any case that I've ever seen that has this many strings to pull on, and then behind each string is like another thing. It's like it's set up to become what it is, where you have an entrenched group over here that is going to like go all in defending whatever. The craziest thing about this is actually exactly what I was about to say, which is that like the entire official story has not changed since like September 13th or something like that. Like, just think about that, dude. Just think about that. That's one of those things where immediately upon having any conversation with someone who's like, listen, official story is what happened, is I'd be like, you understand that was what you are saying is the official story that requires no additional research and no one pushing back on it, has been the same since they wrote it down September 13th. Okay. They wrote that down within 72 hours of Charlie being shot. Okay. If I were to try to even begin to calculate the number of hours that have gone into researching this case, including analysis of all of the videos that have come out, including 90% of them, which had never, probably more than that, had never even been seen when they wrote that down on the piece of paper, which are the charging documents and all that stuff. Like all of that was done. So what you're saying, if you want to hang on to this is what happened and there's no questions to be asked, is every single thing that has come out of these investigations since then holds no merit and is not worth looking into. And it is impossible that any of those things could end up producing something meaningful that might play into what actually happened. It's an impossible position to defend unless you're a fucking idiot. I mean, you can defend it, but you're wrong. Like, you're wrong. Bottom line. You can then respond to me and tell me that, well, you got a bunch of bad actors who are taking things out of context, whatever. Okay, yeah. I don't disagree with that. But what you're saying is that they're all bad actors. Every single one of them. You're telling me that all of these guys who have, many, many combat tours overseas, and they're saying this, once I looked at this video, that video, whatever, this indicates that. It's like, just dismiss what they're saying. They have no incentive whatsoever to mislead anyone. And they're saying that's a problem because of XYZ. And they all agree. That's not meaningful. Not something to think about. The stuff about Lance, not important. Because at the time that they wrote the charging document, Lance, okay, no one even knew that his DNA was on every single piece of evidence. All of them. There's not a piece of evidence that has Tyler's DNA on it that does not also have Lance's. And in some cases, important examples, the majority of it is Lance's, including the thing that was used to engrave the bullets. So the bullet engraving, Tyler may be on it. It seems like it's probably his DNA. Lance's for sure on it. Key witness. It's like, that's not important. Like that's not a piece of, this is the story that the prosecution's telling. That's not important. Not something that we should discuss. You know what I mean? Okay, here, let me show you guys some of this thing that Baze from this girl that Baze had on. Her name's Lala Andrews. She is a former TPUSA employee, and I was watching this the other night, and I was like, "Fuck, I got to remember to put this on." But it was late at night, and I was lying down, and I forgot to write it in my notes, which means that it may as well have not happened until you guys reminded me of it. So check this out, and then we're gonna come back and we'll get back. I know we have a lot more super chats, but let's do this for a little bit here.
I was tabling for Blexit because one of the volunteers couldn't make it or something, so I had to go. I had a staff badge, so I was there before, and I had walked up to. Oh, you guys are gonna like this one too. So I had.
Oh, by the way, this is Baze's channel. You should go follow him for sure. Real Baze. Look at this: 1,100 likes and 0 dislikes. I don't even fucking think I've ever seen that before, dude. 0 dislikes. So Real Baze, go give him a follow. He's a stud, dude. And let's go.
Had walked because I needed to use the bathroom. Now the stage was in the middle of the amphitheater, and so like the amphitheater was cut in half, or the auditorium or whatever, but it was like it had bleachers that kind of concave down. The stage was in the middle, and then one half of the stage was like where people were going to come sit, where the students were going to come sit, and then behind that was like empty bleachers. And I walk up because the bathrooms were on that side, so I had to cut through like the underground tunnel where like, you know, the basketball players come out of, I forget what it's called, and then cut up through the bleachers. And I was going to the bathroom, so I was cutting up through the bleachers. While I go to the bathroom, this state officer who was there, this female, her name was Leah. She was a like state police officer. She had like followed me into the bathroom, and I came out and she was like sitting there like pretending to wash her hands. She goes, "Hey, do you work at Turning Point?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry for everything you guys are going through right now." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, it's really hard," or whatever. And she was like, she brought up George Zinn. And she said, "Yeah, George like just ran, like she just brought him up to me for some reason." She goes, "Yeah, that George Zinn guy, like he was really a weirdo, right? The guy that like dropped his pants." And I was like, "Yeah, he is really weird. Don't you think that that's odd?" She was like, "Yeah, he shows up to a lot of protests all the time in Salt Lake, and he's always there like creating a problem. Like some people think he's crazy, like he's not all the way there." And she was like I guess George Zinn is familiar with the police, not only the state police, but also the different local police, because he shows up to protest all the time, I guess. And he like both to like conservative stuff, like with Charlie, like prove me wrong. But then he also will show up to like, you know, like far left protests and stuff in Salt Lake City. So basically what she was saying was the police were familiar with him, but that wasn't the point that I was trying to make.
Okay, make your point first, and then
So I was like, "Oh, that's crazy. That's weird." So anyway, after that conversation, I was like, "Thanks for telling me. It's nice to meet you." Leah was her name. So I dried my hands. I walked back down through the auditorium, and Tyler Boyer is like sitting on the backside of the stage. So nobody's sitting in the bleachers. He's all by himself. He's sitting maybe like 2 or 3 chairs in with his like back facing me. So I'm walking down and I see that he's there, and he has his hand.
Oh, real quick. I literally was just looking at the chat, and someone was talking about gate handlers. That's so funny. We can talk about this later, but I think you guys are talking about Charlie or someone else, but you know, or if you were talking about me, like I was in gate. Like I was in that program. So I've talked about it on the channel, but every time people talk about it, I'm like, that is so funny, because I always thought gate was this complete and total waste of my fucking time. I can tell you guys about it. Like, you know, I was in it from when I was, so 8 until I was like 14. So from like, yeah, I was in it from 8 until 14. Anyway, we can talk about it later. But, if they were doing any kind of fucking brainwashing, they were doing a real weird job of it. Cause, I don't know. Maybe I blocked out the memories, but from what I remember, it was just a weird thing I had to go to a couple times a week for like 2 hours where I learned about like impressionist painters and shit. Anyway, let's continue.
And like in his head, like he's like grabbing the top of his hair, and you could tell that he was anxious because he was like kicking his knee up and down. And he was like, you could tell he was anxious, like reading a text message that was coming in, and he was grabbing his hair. And as I walked down, I go, "Tyler, is that you?"
By the way, the reason we're watching this is for this exact story about Tyler Boyer. I want to comment on this.
And I like reached my hand out and like grabbed him by his hand, like to give him some like comfort or whatever. I go, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah, everything's fine. Thanks for checking on me." And then that was it. And I was like, "Yeah, but stay in good spirits." I said like goodbye greeting like that. And I like gave him a pat on his back, and I kept walking down. So I don't know if that means anything, but I saw that. And then when he went on stage to do the actual, I don't know, not the show, I wouldn't say the show, but like, you know, have the panel discussion with the governor and the former AG, he immediately said that like Tyler Robinson did it, like that he like basically was speaking to Governor Cox as if Tyler Robinson committed the murder. and was saying, now what are you guys going to do about radical transgender ideology in the future? You guys could probably find this on their YouTube because it was filmed. It was the Utah State University. This is our turning point. And it was just, I remember like listening to the way that they're delivering. It just seemed like odd. Like it was like,
By the way, first of all, this chick is dope. And I'm going to have Baze introduce you to her. I would love to have this girl on, actually. But I'm going to let her finish, and then I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are on that.
Politicized.
it was politicized, but also like planned almost. Like it was just too. It didn't roll off the tongue organically. I guess
It didn't feel
it almost
organic.
it didn't feel organic. It almost like it was like a pre-scripted like this is how we're gonna pivot the like narrative. Not that I'm not saying that they're intentionally, but it seemed like they're intentionally trying to.
It was a plug.
They were intentionally trying to plug and like bottleneck the narrative to without a shadow of a doubt that this is the guy that did it, which is suspicious, right? Because if you wanted to know for real,
You'd be worried about
happened,
the investigation and
you'd
not
be
like
worried-
politicizing and jumping to a conclusion. I mean, this is supposed to be America. It is innocent until proven guilty, right? Like, that's what courts are for.
But you would care about the details of the investigation. So that was odd to me.
Oh, you mean that the emphasis is what are you gonna do now? It's like, are you sure we're gonna nail this guy? Like, or is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying like they spun it to politicize like and make it about anti-trans stuff like immediately, and it wasn't like a conversation about actually the details of the investigation. And if we're sure, like there wasn't like,
that's what I'm trying to say.
There wasn't like curiosity there. It was like Tyler Robinson did it. Absolutely, this is the narrative. And
What's next?
And what's next? Are you going to be harder on transgenderism? Because Governor Cox was notoriously like not hard on transgenderism. Like he like kind of was lenient on that. So he was using it kind of, in my opinion, as like leverage, like to kind of push the issue on. And I just thought it was strange that like he was for sure Tyler Robinson did it. And then at the memorial at ASU, not the one at State Farm, he spoke again. And go watch it on YouTube. This is the ASU one. He spoke again, and he immediately made it about politics again. He was like, Charlie would want you to go register to vote. Charlie would want you to make sure that you join a Turning Point chapter. Make sure you join a Turning Point chapter today. And it was just like, it was just short and quick and straight to the point. And I thought that was odd too.
Read my mind. Read my mind where I'm going to go with this. Because, again, totally, I mean, obviously, if you're already leaning in one direction, you're going to hear it and kind of go, all right, well, this now it's almost like instead of that being the last, simulation I run through is like, well, what if it meant this? It is the first one now that I'm like, well, what would this mean? And running through that, I was like, this is the first story that I've heard where I'm like, that might have been Charlie on the phone. Like that right there, that might have been Charlie on the phone with Tyler Boyer when Charlie's going, you need to push this now. Like you need him to be yada, yada, maybe. But that was out of all of the things I've looked at, I had never looked at it and been like that could be a moment where like there's actual contact. I mean, again, who knows? Like, again, Charlie could be dead. I'm just like hoping that he's alive so much that I'm inserting stuff. But that's where my brain went. And it was like, and then it's like, he seems flustered. He seems like he's like, he's on the ground and he's kind of like, whatever. What's he like? Cause she didn't say he looked sad. You know what I mean? She strikes me as someone very good at picking up on what people are putting down. It's like,
and then,
sorry, I gave her a bad pause. So I try not to like, I try not to pause, like, especially like, I don't care if I do it to dudes, but I try not to like pause women on like bad faces because I know they're gonna watch me like, what the fuck, dude? But if you're a face reader, this right here, this face, hers, okay, that's not a person that you trick. Okay, like you're not gonna trick her, and like that's just what it is. And if a person is experiencing being very sad, like she'll know that's sad. if she says he looked flustered, that's what almost certainly that's how he felt. And so I'm like, well, what would make him flustered? Then he immediately goes into what seems to be like an out of place pushing of what are you going to do? Whatever. And it's kind of like, I mean, maybe, you know what I mean? Let's let her keep talking here for a little bit though, because I am interested in what she's going to say. And then we'll come back to super chats.
Erica Kirk spoke at the memorial at State Farm and she forgave Tyler Robinson. And I was like, okay, why are you guys pushing this issue so much? Like, why don't you just wait why are you guys saying anything? Why don't you guys just wait to the evidentiary hearing and to the trial? And then you get to the evidentiary hearing and you find out that, you know, the defense is trying to get contempt of court because Erica Kirk is going and making media tours and crying and saying that Tyler Robinson absolutely killed Charlie. And it's like, it's definite, it's absolute that he did. And then you get governors saying it. You have like the DA is obviously going to say it, but you know, they're not using
extremely inappropriate.
They're not using the term suspect. They're not using the term alleged. They're not using the term like, you know, probable perpetrator or whatever. They're not using any of those terms. They're saying this guy did it. And that to me is the most
that was another issue that I had with Megyn Kelly.
All.
That was another issue I had with Megyn Kelly because she was, you know, she's like, he did it. He's guilty. I want the death penalty. I wish I could be there to flip the switch myself. Like however she worded it. It's not verbatim, but that was pretty much like the message.
Yeah. And on that one, the reason I give a pass to Megyn Kelly on that. And the reason is because I know she's friends with the people at TPUSA. Like I said, they're her friends. Like I talked about this before. Like if one of my friends is like, look, this is what's going on. I'm going to be like, okay, gospel. It's gospel then. And what I think happened is Megyn Kelly talked to people at TPUSA. They told her, you know, whatever story that would make Megyn Kelly believe that it's a complete lock that Tyler did it. Because bottom line is, I've said this a million times. I will say it every time I stream. If Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk, they can fucking burn him alive for all I care. Like if he actually did this, if that guy, you know, if the official story is true and he's like, you know what? I hate Charlie so much that I'm going to murder him. You know, I didn't talk to my boyfriend about it for some reason. We live together, sleep together. We're 22 years old. Not really the age where people have a lot of self-control over things they feel strong enough to commit a murder, but not so strong as I'm going to talk to my, you know, boyfriend about it. Kind of weird, but like it was, yeah, like I have you can hand him over to the cartel and be like, do whatever you want to this kid. I'm good. But so like, I don't have any issue with her being like, flip the switch if she thought for sure that he did it. You know what I mean? Let's continue.
And it's like, yo, like you're a lawyer. Like you're a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like, you know the law. Innocent until proven guilty. You're talking about a 22-year-old. We don't have the facts. There doesn't appear to have been a real investigation. And this is one of the things I was saying last night on my live is if, you know, because I was pulling up clips where Charlie's talking about like Dan Bongino and Cash Patel and Pam Bondi. He's like, I know these people. I trust these people. If Charlie was here today, and God forbid, I'm not going to say any names, but knock on wood, it wasn't Charlie. It was somebody else.
Yeah. And that line too, when Tyler was saying, he's like, I know what Charlie would want, and he would want you to . It's like, I bet you he does. I feel like he might know, you know, maybe. And again, if not, I mean, first of all, I'm not claiming to know any of this stuff for sure. And yeah, for sure, I am wishful thinking throughout all of this because I would love for Charlie to still be alive.
These bigger names that, you know, what do you think Charlie would say if they were handling someone else's death that he knew the same way that they handled his?
Yeah, no, you would think that it was crazy. I mean, you saw him when we were
I think he'd be the loudest voice in the room. I think if the roles were reversed, he would be talking about Candace Owens every day on his show. And
he loved Candace. He loved Candace.
He did love Candace.
And I know that for a fact because
they all like to try to say otherwise now.
And well, no, he was getting a lot of pressure to brand away from Blexit and to brand away from Candace. And he like fought it tooth and nail. He was even getting like pressure from inside of Blexit to brand away from Blexit.
Charlie did love Candace.
He absolutely loved Candace. And everybody that knew Charlie knew that. So for people to act like, to people try to rewrite history, it's ridiculous. Like Charlie fought for Candace and he fought for Blexit tooth and nail. And he loved Blexit because he felt like it was part of Candace. In my opinion, I think that he loved Blexit because he felt like it was, you know, part of Candace was still at turning point. I think that
This chick is fucking sharp, man. You can hear it just in how she catches herself and words things. Super fucking smart. Baze is too.
was part of the reason why he merged us with them, to be honest with you. So
Now, have you been keeping up? Well, I'm sure.
sorry,
you
I gotta
have.
put the fan on. It's so hot. I'm like sweating over here.
God. Oh my God. So do you have, of all these crazy theories that we've seen, the 30-06, the palm gun, the lapel mic, the necklace, the stage? Well, I know you don't think it was staged, but is there one that you're leaning towards right now?
Oh, geez. Did I call her smart? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I think it was the lapel mic.
You do think it was the lapel mic. Did you see the pictures that have been coming out and the new pictures that Candace brought out on Friday?
The broken glass.
Yes, and I believe Coach Colin posted pictures today. I reposted it on my ex. I didn't know it was his.
Well, let me tell you another thing. So I went to the crime scene twice. My mom lives in Orem. I told you I went to UVU. So I went to the crime scene twice. One thing that the one point that people are missing is that Charlie was in the tent in the outdoor amphitheater, which is concaved. So it's like in the ground, like it's not super, super deep, but it's like, you know, you have the ground level and then you have steps that go down. And Charlie was under a tent in those steps. So like when you're right in front of the tent, you can see Charlie. But if you're on a rooftop with a rifle angled down from like a prune position and you're angling down, you're not going to be able to see.
Hang on a second here. I can't take this anymore. I have to look this up, dude. Does she have a channel? Because if she doesn't have a fucking channel, what are you doing? This is the biggest lock bet YouTube success I've ever seen since I started watching this platform. If she's not already blown up on, like, I'm gonna have some career advice. Okay, so she does. Well, she should be focused heavily on YouTube because she'll fucking make it. There is absolutely no question about it, dude. Oh no, yes. So she hasn't even taken a real run at this. Lala, you should be posting on YouTube. If you want some advice, I will give it to you. You'll succeed for absolute sure. With me make myself big. There's no question. Absolutely none. 100% you will succeed if you do the things that, you know, give you a legitimate shot of success on this platform. There's no question. Zero question.
Charlie under the tent. You see what I'm saying? Because it's concaved. So if, in my opinion, if somebody really shot Charlie from a rifle, it would have gone through the top of the tent, wouldn't it have? Because if you look at, I actually have a picture.
You know, I was actually thinking about that too, because I was looking at pictures the other day, and like Charlie was sitting on a pretty big platform. Like his chair was on top of a platform. Like you're 100% right. He was pretty highly elevated. And if the person was aiming from a roof,
he wasn't elevated. He was underneath like the ground level because the amphitheater was concaved. Okay, so this is the Losey Center. Okay, you see, that is the Losey Center. That's where they said that he was on top of right here. So my problem with that is it's like maybe 150 feet from like the base of that over to the top.
And you went to that school, right?
Yeah, I went to that school.
Okay, so you know it pretty well. You're not just referring to pictures.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It's for people that if they missed it before.
So it's an outdoor campus. There's people walking around always. Even there, even at that picture, it's like, did you guys see this right here? This is a walkway. Right here. People walk here to get to classes. On the other side of this, there's whole other area that wraps around the top of the school building. Like it's an outdoor campus. People are walking on these walkways. It's in the middle of the day during class. So the idea that this fucking guy dressed in tactical gear like scaled this building and laid prune and nobody saw him is complete bullshit. And people did see him. There is video camera of people seeing him, but like nobody saw him took the shot. I still haven't seen a camera footage or any video footage of him taking the shot. It's hard for me to believe.
All right. So that is more of anyone else's clip that I think I've ever shown ever consecutively. What's that? I guess it's only 13 minutes. If you guys want to watch the end of that, it is on, that's on Baze's channel, Real Baze. Here, let me show you real quick. That is Real Baze. And this is Lala Andrews, who I don't know what she does for money, but for absolute sure, it should start to include YouTube, because that is an absolute lock bet success story for sure. Anyway, all right, let me go back to some super chats, and I want to show you guys another. I'm going to show you guys the Garrigo stuff that he talks specifically about the prosecution's case and why the prosecution has this case broken already. Violet Masterpiece became a member. You were already a member, I thought. Graphic Nightmare says, also, how many times has Candace offered to share her evidence with the feds? Blake's argument makes no sense that she's sitting on evidence. Yeah, agree. Great show. Thank you very much. Isabel says, thank you for the $2. Appreciate you. Ms. Mac, thank you again. Pick of Twigs at the gas station. He's wearing an Alero brand hat. Same brand as guy in black stairwell, 97% sure. And by the way, ADD is a gift we share for sure. And the Lance Twigs, the one thing I forgot to bring up when we're comparing Lance Twigs to Tyler Robinson honestly, if we go back to like late September through beginning of November, I must have done like 15 episodes on looking at Lance, comparing it to Tyler, and all of the, indicators that Lance was much more likely to have been the mastermind, or at the very least, if nothing else, involved. And the idea that he was just I had no idea that was going on. What was Tyler's favorite types of games to play? Well, he liked this game where he got to dress like a pirate. Oh man, I'm 5. But yeah, something I didn't show that I showed in that episode was that the suspect in the pictures is wearing those Chucks, right? He's wearing the Converse Chucks. And if you look at Tyler in pictures, he is also wearing Chucks that appear to be the same as the Chucks in the suspect photos, but they're not the same. It's an incredibly subtle difference, but I compare them in the video. I, however, found a picture of Lance wearing some Chucks in a photo where they were welcoming someone home from their mission, and he's wearing the exact Chucks that the suspect's wearing. I mean, just plain as day. Those are the same, and the ones that Tyler's wearing not. Doesn't mean that they don't both own multiple pairs or they don't, share shoes. But I've got a picture of Lance wearing the identical ones, and the pictures of Tyler are not the same. And when you watch that video of Tyler, talking to the cop on the street, and he's like, yeah, I was going this way. You look, you're like, this is you know what? Let me show you guys that, just because I think this is actually not spoken about enough. It just generally about this, hang on here. Matt Tardio just said that he's going to be dropping an actual bombshell on Candace shortly. And then don't be surprised if all her electronics get seized. Okay, hang on. Let me while I find the video that I was going to look for, let's watch this together here, because this has piqued my interest.
Is up.
And most people don't even see a gun. I would like to stress that. We have seen no evidence that there was even a gun on the rooftop. Even our source, the person who recorded,
Even our source, the person who recorded,
We heard that, right? Your source, the person who recorded, right? Like that's what you're claiming where you got that video is the person that recorded things. That's what you're trying to state now, right? Matter of fact, I put out this post and I said, again, if Candace has all of her electronics seized, try not to be shocked. Why would I say that? And I said it'd be a shame if somebody tagged the FBI's rapid response team and they just started to ask questions as to why her source had to record the video. Candace, you responded and you said, it would be a shame if you tried on basic comprehension and realized we were speaking about the man whose audio we played last week on our show and who happened to be the only person who recorded footage of the man on the roof before the sound of the blast went off. The FBI already knows who that is because they spoke with him just once. Well, ma'am, all of that would be fine and dandy, except for you said this.
We did have to obviously zoom in and push out those Fed timestamps, but
I'm sorry. What was that?
Fed timestamps, but
What did you say?
Fed timestamps, but
I'm sorry. You had to remove whose timestamps, Candace?
fed timestamps, but
Candace, would you mind telling everybody why a month after you left Russia, you are releasing a video with those particular timestamps on it that you had to zoom in on to remove? You see, I do agree with some of the things that you say. If you lie, you might just get caught. Isn't that right?
something.
There's no way. Okay, I'm going to let him finish before I comment. There's only 20 seconds left.
But I always say my household is when there is one lie, there's 20. There's no reason to lie. And lies by severe omission, I'd like to be very clear, are lies.
Wait. Okay, so what the fuck? I don't even understand. What were we supposed to pull from that? She said she had to remove the Fed timestamps, which means that it was the actual video that the feds had turned over. That makes it more credible, not less. And when they're talking about the feds coming and seizing her devices, Candace is a journalist. Okay. If someone illegally obtains something and then sends it to Candace, is there people who are under the impression that Candace is criminally liable? Because unless she gave them explicit instructions to go break the law to do that, then Candace is a journalist and the person who sent the video is a source. And if the source committed a crime to capture it, that's something different. But what are we like? What are we talking? Russia? What does Russia have to do with that video? Okay. I'm like, I told you guys, Valhalla is my boy, dude. And he was like, don't go hard on that guy. So I'm just going to kind of go, all right. Like, I don't know him personally. I would be going a lot harder if not for that, because there isn't shit in that video. There's nothing that he said that was compelling in any way that would make that video less relevant, less compelling. It's the opposite, because you're making an argument that is completely irrelevant. Let me actually just go back. What on earth, what did Russia have to do with that? Because I'm actually legitimately confused of what his point was there.
Would be fine and dandy, except for you said this.
We did have to obviously zoom in and push out.
Okay,
As to why our source had to record the video. Candace, you responded and you said, it would be a shame if you tried on basic comprehension and realized we were speaking about the man whose audio we played last week on our show and who happened to be the only person who recorded footage of the man on the roof before the sound of...
Oh, okay. So again, he's pointing to something that would not be criminal on Candace's part, but potentially could be problems for her source in the event that the way that they got that video was recording it inside of the courtroom and then defied a court order and they gave it to Candace. But like, I mean, listen, dude, as much as I'm so concerned about every person's whatever, my number one concern is like, how credible is the video? And that, if that's the best they got, just made it more credible, not less. You know what I mean? But here, let's go back and see about the Russia thing, because the Russia thing, yeah.
The blast went off. The FBI already knows who that is because they spoke with him just once. Well, ma'am, all of that would be fine and dandy, except for you said this.
We did have to obviously zoom in and push out those Fed timestamps, but
I'm sorry. What was that?
Fed timestamps, but
what did you say?
Fed timestamps, but
I'm sorry. You had to remove.
I don't understand. Like, what is the argument that he's trying to win? Like, you're saying that there were Fed timestamps on the video, which means the video's real. Okay, I'm just going to make sure. I still want to get to the Russia thing.
Whose timestamps, Candace?
Fed timestamps, but
Candace, would you mind telling everybody why a month after you left Russia, you are releasing a video with those particular timestamps on it that you had to zoom in on to remove? You see, I do agree with some of the things that you say. If you lie, you might just get caught. Isn't that right?
something.
Okay, so it's exactly what I thought. It's exactly what I thought, which was I say Russia, dumb fucks think, oh, so then Russian asset. You're all. A month after she came back from Russia, she's releasing a video that is related to the Charlie Kirk case, which she is the number one person globally investigating. She's 1,000 million sources. And she released it after coming back from Russia. How is Russia play into this? Because she went to, like, what the fuck? Does this is an honest question. Does that actually work on people? Like, is that the kind of thing that works on people for real? Like, people hear that, they're all, Russia. You're all. Hey, raise your hand if you think that her Russia trip is related to this. Actually don't. And I'm sorry I even said that. People in the chat, don't. Let's just not. Okay. That would be the same as raise your hand if you are a retard. So don't do it. Anyone, no one raise your hand. Okay. Just know that if you were in some way swayed about the legitimacy of this video because he said a month after Russia, I don't like name calling. Fucking retard. Okay, let's continue. And I'm not calling Matt a retard. He's playing a game that maybe he's getting paid for, or maybe he's not. He seems like a smart guy. So he's obviously smart enough to know that he made no logical point right there, that anyone with a, like, no one smart's going to go, there you go, Russia. In thin air. Oh, what's up, my dude? Thank you for the super chat. Great job on this and having the live so many people can jump in. In your email, I sent a video of Erica swallowing a Coke drip, during a speech. I sent you now. I was also in Alex and Tim. In case you don't remember. No, I remember you, dude. Of course. Let's chat soon. Let's do it, dude. Let me go look. There was, dude, someone sent me a post of something that said, gosh, I don't want to butcher this. And I don't remember it exactly. So fair warning, but it was a post that said, it was like a social media post of Erica. And she was like in the back of it. It was clearly like a long time ago, if it's even real. And it was like, it said something like, tequila makes me love girls extra or something. And I was like, say what, dude? Listen, say that again. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But when I saw it, I was like, God damn. That's not hot at all. Gross. Ugh. Beauty queen that drinks tequila and is all into girls. Ugh. Gross. But again, I don't even know if it was real. Paisley Park, thank you for the super chat. How do we go about watching these weekend poker games I keep hearing about? Well, we should probably do we should probably commit to doing it so that we could actually, oh shit, let me see. Hold on. Dude, hold on. There's all my people are writing about something about oh shit. Nate was on Alex's show. And Baze, you were on mine, dude. Look at that, Doug. Something about Blake B is kin to multiple people. I'm literally reading a text message for the record. Blake B is kin to multiple people on Fort Huachuca. Do you mean he say Blake B? I think he's talking about Blake Bednar's, but I think Blake Neff is the one where that is yeah. He's watching they're watching Elizabeth Lane on Tucker. Okay, there's way too much going on. I can't read all that. I'm gonna derail this thing. But yeah, we do the weekend poker game sometime. We were talking about doing one, but no one confirmed. So maybe we'll do one tomorrow. Oh shit. Jesus, I've been getting blown up apparently. My wife wants me to weigh in on a refrigerator, which is super important. Yes, I literally, between me and the 12,000 people watching this, I didn't even fucking look at the video. She has a video and she's like, do you like this one? I just sent back yes and didn't even look at it because I don't give a fuck about what our refrigerator looks like. If she likes it, it's cool. You know what I mean? If there is ever a moment where my life is affected by the refrigerator that is in our house, that means that my priorities are fucked and everything is whatever. Okay. Jesse, you get to have your cake and eat it too? I guess so. You mean because I get to point everything out and then just be like, I don't even know if I'm right though. Yes. That's what I was laughing about early on in the stream. It's like, I just get to say, yeah, this is what I think, but maybe not, so I can have my cake and eat it too. Yes. Why would they attack Charlie Kirk? Be okay. Why would they attack CK? Be okay with the attacks on CO? So, I guess you'd have to play the two different scenarios. Okay, so let's say Charlie got clipped by Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs, which is certainly possible. Then, of course, they're going to be mad at Candace because they think that she is going to end up getting Tyler acquitted when they believe Tyler is guilty of this crime. My question would be, why are you so confident that he's guilty of this crime, given all of the problems with the case that are very obvious and not at all solved by the things that you guys are showing? When you guys told me that Tyler's family turned him in and that he confessed to his family, then I was like, okay, yeah, I'm sure that he did it. When you find out they're not testifying and there's no verification of that being true, now I have to go off the evidence that we have, and there are massive problems there. So, which is why I end up looking over here, and it's like, okay, well, let's say that they juked it. Well, they have to try to discredit Candace because Candace is pointing to all of these things that indicate that what they're playing make-believe about is not what really happened. You know what I mean? Neil and Kelly, maybe in faking it, the device malfunctions and he dies accidentally. Possible, totally possible. However, given the fact that my indicator of it not being real was their lack of grief, if he was killed by a malfunction, they would be sad. So, and again, that's why I never say that this is bulletproof. It's just my read is I'm not seeing any of the emotion that I would expect. And in that scenario, that emotion should have been there also. Motown says, thank you very much. Over the last many months, God has revealed to his prophets, CK is crowned as a martyr. Inside job, 2 shooters, Erica Kirk part of it, but she is sad. This is deeper than anyone can imagine. It's so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to read that again because you paid $20. So I want your voice heard. But I don't know how to respond to that exactly. But okay. So again, Motown says, Over the last many months, God has revealed to his prophets, Charlie Kirk is crowned as a martyr. Inside job, 2 shooters, Erica Kirk part of it, but she is sad. This is deeper than anyone can imagine. Thank you again for the super chat. Appreciate you. And Julesy says, you do understand that they are controlled by the, yeah, I mean, seems that aside from like a very small group of, examples, everybody falls into that category lately, but I'm not sure exactly who you're referencing when you said they. It's just Zero. What's up, dude? When we compound the latest discoveries as they pertain to TPUSA and the Adelson Plains having 2 a.m. meetups. I don't know exactly when those were and if like how verified they are, but I'll take a look at that too. I actually meant to look at that. 530, mom of 4 boys. Hello, I went to Chico State, dude. So I'm just saying. I know 530 very well. I'm dying to know how you disregard the placement of these people around him, their ties, their lies, all before CK was unalived, especially Erica Kirk. But I don't disregard him. I'm saying that Charlie's one of them. Like all of these people. How do you think you end up in a situation like that? Like, how do you end up at near the top of an organization that has 9 figures going through it to pay for political action? Like, all of them are going to have ties to people who fall into those backgrounds. What I push back on is the framing that we know that Charlie's like this, like unwitting, like Charlie's a fucking genius. Okay. This is not debatable from my perspective. Charlie's a genius, or was, whatever. So I don't like the infantilization of his ability to sniff out stuff like that, where I think he was probably one of the most brilliant people ever at reading people, understanding how to approach things. And so the idea that he was like this, like unwitting, it's like, put him in the GATE program. Let's trick this Dunsky. Cause look, he's really smart, but not smart enough to realize that his whole life is a Truman Show. It's like, I just don't buy it. Like, I think I don't buy that at all. Cause listen, like there certainly I can understand how people would put the Erica thing on that because, I feel weird even talking about a person's like, actually, I'm not even going to do that. If he doesn't have a lot of experience with women due to, principles that he abided by, then I can understand how potentially he would not see something coming in that one category. But the idea that Charlie would like be surrounded by a bunch of male jackals who are just pretending to be his friends and really they're there for whatever, and he wouldn't know, I find that ridiculous because he's too fucking smart for that. He's the smartest guy in the room. You know what I mean? That's my issue with that one. Same shit, different shirt. Yep. And you can go shop for these shirts in my merch link in the description of this video. They're hiding your members only vids. What's up, Joseph Pistone? No, they're not. I'll show you how to get there. So if you go to here and you go to videos and then you click right there, members only, bam. On and on and on and on and on. They're just everywhere, dude. Let's see which. Oh yeah, I started with this will get me kicked off YouTube, and then there you go. There's the one I was talking about. The one about, oh shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, the story about, I didn't forget about it, but I forgot I told that part of the story. The condom in the trash can story is this one, and it didn't actually lead to a gnarly fight. It coincidentally was connected to, we ended up fighting some guys that were directly connected to the dude who had sex with my girlfriend unknowingly until afterwards. Long story. You can hear it in members only. Okay. So Raymond Godfrey, thank you very much. Appreciate you, dude. The Pattern Files, Jesse turns stream off laughing. Y'all believe what? Jesse turns stream off laughing. Y'all. That's not how you spell believe, dude. Maybe I could try to convince people that that's how believe is spelled. Hey guys, listen. If you want to trick those feds, you spell believe BELEIVE, and that way they know you're smart. By the way, if you were not talking shit, then I apologize for that response. Okay. If he was in custody, why not his kids? If they want somebody to do something, they will always use their kids to blackmail them. Are you talking Charlie? I apologize. I'm not really 100% sure what that question is asking. Oh, same guy. Oh, yeah, guys. I think Charlie was actually Jesus. Oh, you do? That's cool. Maybe not, or whatever. Take charge, Clyde. What's up, man? Why would he allow it? Because look at all the eyeballs that the drama has attracted, millions and millions. If Charlie is part of it? Okay. To be clear, I'm not saying that they hoaxed it for sure, but if they did, what my hypothesis is that this is a plan that went wrong. Like, this is not what they intended at all. Like, if it is as I was laying out, the plan was to take Charlie off the map, point to an absolutely very real problem, which was leftist violence, push people in the right direction to address a problem that they believed was not being addressed properly. In addition to that, secure control of the Republican Party and the American government for the next 12 years, given that the inevitable response to Charlie getting killed was going to be leftists celebrating. So they were going to be able to show people how barbaric and disgusting that people would behave in that scenario, which they predicted correctly. If you remember, one of the first videos that I did that went viral on this topic was when Charlie, the day Charlie got killed, I was live streaming it, or I'm sorry, I was live streaming right after he got shot. And when they announced that he was dead, there was a stream that TMZ was running, and Harvey Levin is like talking, and he's like, so we're waiting for word from the hospital. And you hear this eruption of cheers from a room like behind him. Very loud, very female dominated, like loud cheers, fucking cheers. And it's like, wah! And then about 3 seconds later, Harvey goes, what's that? Okay, Donald Trump just confirmed Charlie Kirk has in fact died. Those fucking girls at TMZ in that office cheered when they announced that he was dead. Okay, that's not a setup. That is how they really reacted to Charlie Kirk getting murdered. And so, and by the way, that video that I did got demonetized. That video where all I did is just showed them cheer. Okay. So again, this would have been a strategy that was implemented across a lot of different, it's going to touch a lot of different things. But the reason Erica was, everyone's like, why is Erica trying to be so out front there? Like, why is she trying to do all this? It's like, well, if this hypothesis is correct, the idea was that this was going to elevate and she was going to be accepted as an incredible, conservative leader now as the widow of Charlie having died like that. The problem is that they didn't take the time to build her legend, and they tried to push her out immediately, where you're like, have you guys thought this through, dude? She's not Daniel Day-Lewis, man. Your idea is good, but you have missed a major part of this, which is if she can't sell them that she is crushed, like no one is going to accept her just being out front immediately. She needs to go mourn, dude. Like she needs to be gone for a while. Then you build her up and bring her out. You throw her out on stage immediately, giving people shoulder rubs in leather pants with fireworks. They're going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why don't you go take care of your kids? Didn't your husband just get murdered? Exactly like what happened. And they just didn't. It's just detail that again, this is just what I think may have happened. But yeah, like I'm to respond to this. I don't think that this went as they planned at all. And they really, really miscalculated Candace, if that's what happened. Sorry you're late. Oh, it's fine, man. And welcome back. Thank you for 18 months. Shotgun Yoda, 34 months. That means you probably joined the membership right when I launched it. And thank you very much, my dude. Appreciate you, guy. So Dude, that's crazy. Do you guys know, like, so the numbers on this stream have gone, they've gone like this on X and then like this on, and so like on YouTube, we got about 4,000 people watching and we got almost 10,000 on X. That's by far the most people that have ever watched me on X at once. But I haven't really done a lot of them there. So that is going to be something that happens now. Okay, yeah. So what about Charlie Kirk saying he was going to die young and it was going to be because of TPUSA, Candace Owens' dreams? Yeah, man, I get some of your arguments, but no. So on that, you know what's funny about that is that, I mean, like, listen, I first felt comfortable enough to talk about this. I think might have even been like February. Actually, this is actually really important. I want to just make sure that I get this date right. When I first started talking about this, it was
We're talking about.
Let me see. That was February 7th. So in this video, the very first video that I did about this, which is this one right here, February 7th, part of my hypothesis was actually that Charlie had this overwhelming like belief for years that he was going to die and that his death was going to lead to something very positive that was going to happen. And that was part of my hypothesis. Like, I think that this is before it doesn't matter. Bottom line is it was part of my core thing. If you go watch that video, and I was saying like, maybe his fear of actually leaving his babies without a father was like, maybe I can, die so we can get the benefit and not have to leave my kids alone or whatever. You know what I mean? Like from 5 months ago to now, this is a concept that's developed immensely. There's stuff that I thought before that I don't think now. And like, again, I don't even, who knows? I could just be completely wrong about the entire thing. But when on a day where the story is that they cleared out an entire fucking wing of a hospital 2 hours before he was shot, that one seems to indicate foreknowledge. Lance's posture too uniform and strict, 100% fed. Dude, can you email me where you have seen Lance like Lance moving around? Have you seen that? Like, you've actually seen him moving around? I'm not sure if I've seen that. I feel like I've only seen like still photos of him, except for, his testimony that was super convincing. Yes. Tyler likes to dress as a pirate. You know how it is with these pirates. I think Lance and Tyler's involvement, an irate Randy, thank you very much. I think Lance and Tyler's involvement in this is irrelevant. We know the weapon wasn't used by them. They can't authorize a paving job. Excellent point. You're right. They certainly cannot authorize the, digging up and paving over of a crime scene, which, according to the people who did it, was being pushed in terms of speed by the governor and the FBI. Take charge, Clyde. What's up, dude? Thank you again. If Charlie's alive, Candace is part of it, and they are going hard to distract us on how many people are glued daily. Yeah, again, as a sign of respect to Candace, I would say I would not know. I've tried to back into a motivation she would have every time that she's talking about something that looks to me to be related to that hypothesis. I'm like, okay, what other reason could there be for her to talk about this if she's in on it? And I can never come up with anything, Shotgun Yoda, I will absolutely mod you. Let me get down there, just say anything and I'll mod you right now. Jester, video hit home. Trapped in the UK with my kids. Need to escape to the US. Feels impossible. Any advice? Man, I don't know. I mean, I know you guys have it rough over there with the police and like lack of freedom of speech or whatever, but Argentina might feel like a better option, dude. Go move now. I don't know. But my wife has dual citizenship in the UK because her mom is from the UK originally. We've never used it for anything, but we were talking about that with Valhalla, and he's like he thinks that there's no reason why anyone should have dual citizenship, and I actually agree with that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know enough about the well, actually, that's not true. I do know a lot about the immigration process because of jiu-jitsu and all the Brazilians that are like, they're like family, and they're all like from Brazil, and they're all in different stages of legal immigration. That's why I have very complicated feelings on immigration in general. But I don't have any sympathy for people who like sneak in and just bypass all of that, because I can't be down with that when all the guys I know, guys and girls, are going through a very arduous process to abide by the legal way to do it, which is very possible because they all fucking do it, you know. Anyway, Bays, what's up, my dude? New Black America is her channel. Yep. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. So maybe this is her old channel. Hang on. Let me go plug the shit out of that then, because oh yeah, still not big enough, dude. Like, this needs to be, she's not posting enough. Not by a long shot. Like, so everybody go follow this. This is Lala's her channel. This is not like, dude, put me in touch with her, and I am telling you, if she does what I tell her to do, without a doubt, in 1 year, she'll have a huge channel. She's super talented, ridiculously talented, an absolute fucking lock bet to succeed with no question whatsoever. Absolutely none. Zero. Maybe the biggest lock bet I've ever seen to succeed ever. Anyway, Babes, thank you very much. Who thinks Rothschilds and Rockefellers have their backs against the wall, pissing and shitting on themselves? I fucking hope not, because you know, they got a lot of things they can do. That's why I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I just always let it be known. It's like, if anybody has an issue with things I'm saying, just tell me. I will stop saying it. I'm not trying to trap anybody. I have one superseding priority over all others, and that is being able to take care of my family. There's nothing that is a higher priority than that. You know, no one needs to whack me out. No one needs to threaten me. They just need to ask. I'll be like, that's fine. I don't fuck with people who can, you know, snap a finger and make my life challenging. And I assume a lot, like, people who have, you know, that's also, I've talked about this on a few shows, dude, where like Candace, that's another reason she's such a fucking gangster, man, because she has a family. She got 5 kids. She's a woman too. And she is such a fucking savage, dude. She doesn't give a fuck. She's not afraid of any of them. Like, I'm afraid of these people openly. I have no shame about that. Like, none. I am terrified of these people. I know what kind of power they can wield over people. And I realize, like, I'm not naive to the fact that, like, my platform is big enough that, like, I say shit that, like, people are going to see it. You know what I mean? And, yeah, I don't know. I don't like her tolerance for that level of conflict. And when I saw her explain why on Sean Ryan's show, I gave me chills, actually, where she said that it was because of the world she wants her kids to grow up in. And I was like, fuck. I felt like a fucking bitch. That's just what it is. Enough so that every time I've talked about it, I've ended up in this talk track making a joke about how I could beat her up in a physical fight. And then I laugh at myself because it's so stupid. And I almost did it again, dude. I almost did it again. Abe Barnes, thank you again. Elizabeth Lane already exposed this narrative today. Tucker too. Yeah, I'm actually late for me and Elizabeth's fucking. We are going. I'm recording with her literally right when we get done. And oops. Wife of Finn Momoto. Thank you very much. Don't agree with you, but I like you, so I'm supporting anyway. P.S. Don't you think they'd plan more fake blood to make it look more real if it was fake? I mean, so it's interesting that you say that. Like, again, I try to present this stuff in a way where I'm like, I'm not even saying I'm right. Like, there shouldn't be anyone who goes, I don't agree with him, and so I don't like his channel and I don't like him. I'm like, why? It's not a hill I'm dying on, dude. You know, I mean, confident enough that I'm right that I would talk about it, but nonetheless, on the blood thing. So I actually had 2 conversations when I first put the series out. A lot of people reached out to me, obviously, and I talked to 2 people from Hollywood, and they both said something very similar, which was that when they saw it happen, well, one of them was like, I've been waiting for someone to talk about this. They're like, because to me, she's like, to me, it was so obvious. It was so obvious that it wasn't real. And she's like, but I've been on a million sets when this happened. And she's like, when I saw it, to me, it looked like a bad take. She said, I've seen that happen a lot. And what happens is something about how the blood bags go bad or something like that. And she's like, so I was just like, oh, we're going to have to reshoot that. And the other person that I talked to said something very, very similar, where it's like, it looked like a bad take or something like that. And I was like, whoa, they both said that. I have no idea what that means or whatever. But I mean, dude, if you remove the missing blood on the security guards and you just looked at what happened like visibly on the video, it looked like a catastrophic wound. You know what I mean? Like it looked, to me, I don't have a trained eye. I looked at that and I have a video of me seeing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm on video the first time that I saw Charlie get shot. Like I saw the video where he's bleeding, and it's that's one of those things. Like, I'm very glad that I was streaming that, because it's like there's not any it's not hard to read my reaction at all. Like it's like here it is right here. Actually, I'll show it to you guys right here. This is so I was live streaming right after Charlie had been shot when I saw the video for the very first time.
Need to ring them all up. Ring them
So this is like in a second you'll see.
up, dude. Prison for every single one of them. Anyone who
Everybody just freaking out, trying to take care of their own, and we're all trying to help everyone else. We all just, everybody hunkered together, and we got all this. So.
And I'm sorry, Taylor. Was it an outdoor event?
Yes, it was.
It was an.
Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Seen the video.
He's not going to make it, dude.
Oh my God.
Jesus, man. People are saying, how do I know? I just watched a video of it 5 times.
Imagine how
Well, I could probably leave that part out. But anyway, yeah, like, so I bought it, obviously. I mean, or, again, real, maybe. But there was no part of me that questioned it at all when it happened. Like, at all. Sam Woodridge, thank you very much. Shout out from Wichita Falls, Texas. Had fun watching you live, but I have tickets to go see Spider-Man. Dude, I heard it's amazing. I've heard excellent things about it. Hopefully it is great. Enjoy, dude. And Johnny Hansel just gifted 1 membership. Thank you, sir. Miss Mac, I'll take your reaction as a compliment. Oh, it was definitely a compliment. For sure, that was a compliment. Don't go around breaking young boys' hearts. Dude, that's actually really funny. That came from my brain because I was watching this guy who makes these like sports highlight reels, and he has Billie Jean as the background for every single one. So I listened to Billie Jean like 15 straight times earlier. Don't go around breaking young. Don't clip that, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. The boardroom. Thank you very much, good sir. Barnes, what's up? Okay, so narrative shaping, playing God, and using a Christian to mock. Yeah. Wait. Who's narrative? I'm confused. I'm confused again. T Bizzle, thank you very much. You liked my suggestion of doing members only videos with other YouTube peeps like Baron. Love to see you do one with Nate. Yeah. Maybe get some stories out of him. Owen Benjamin would be dope too. Dude, if you put me in touch with Owen Benjamin, I'll do whatever you want with him for sure. And Nate, it's weird, dude. It's like, listen, I feel weird asking like tier 1 guys or just operators in general. I feel weird asking them to tell stories about, you know, clipping guys or people on their teams getting killed. It's like, I don't know, like of course, everybody wants to hear those stories. I don't like asking about them. You know what I mean? The best way to get them out of them is to get them drinking in a fun environment, and then they just start coming, dude. I'm like my one of my closest guys is Ed Byers, who's the Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, Master Chief of SEAL Team 6. I love that guy. He's so scary when he's sober because he's just the most serious. You're just like, fuck, man. You just don't like. You could tell he's going to judge you harshly if you do something wrong. But he is like, most people drink, they go like he's the exact opposite of most. He's the happiest dude ever, and sometimes you can get him telling stories, and his stories are fucking bananas because they're a SEAL Team 6 shit. He would never. There's no. I don't think that I could get him to tell those stories on a stream, but maybe, maybe. That dude is he's one of the fucking hardest dudes of all time. And he's amazing. He's like scary, but it's because that dude will always do the right thing. Like that's a person who is going to evaluate every decision from the perspective of like he's never going to take a shortcut. He's not going to do the wrong thing. And he will judge you harshly if you do. You know what I mean? John, for the super, thank you very much, dude. And dude, me and Nate should schedule a members only one. Do you really think CK would let Tyler sit in jail for a year to achieve his goal? If he agreed to do it, for sure. Again, I'm not standing on this. This is for sure true. The only two things I could think of where that, and from the beginning, I always was like, I can't really reconcile Tyler. I don't know where he would fit into this. The only two ideas that I can come up with that would make sense to me would be A, if Tyler was in on it, and in which case there would be a reason that he would agree to do a certain amount of time knowing he's going to get off, or a way where I think Tyler or Charlie and whoever else would be completely fine with whatever happens to him is if they picked him because he had downloaded. I mean, like, you guys do understand what type of stuff is available on the Tor browser, right? Like on the dark web, there is nightmare fuel stuff that if I found out someone even intentionally looked to find for the first time, they would be, if they were standing next to a cliff, they'd be an inch from me pushing them. And if they looked for that twice, it's like stuff that you can't even fathom that a human could even, like, I did, like, the movie Sound of Freedom, I did not watch for a very long time because I don't like, it's so weird because I have this dichotomy where I love watching stuff about Pizzagate, but then when it comes to actual real world stuff, it's like, I kind of like avoid it because I'm like, I just can't, it's just too much. But if you look up stories of like people who've been arrested who have had, God, I'm like trying to think of this guy's name, but horrific stuff where death is not enough. You know what I mean? Like the people who actually did it, videotaped it, put it out. And if someone was downloading that shit, fucking burn them, dude. I don't care. Eddie gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, dude. Enjoy those, you guys. Lee says, I'm worried for Candace. I pray for her safety. Dude, listen, I was too, but she's not. She's like, yeah, she'll be all right. For some reason, I don't have a bad feeling about her for some reason. I feel like if someone, I don't know. She's a fucking gangster, man. She's going to be all right. She's going to be all right. Wife of Finn Mamoto, thank you again. Naive and trusting until given a reason. He was busy traveling then, and then phone off with family. He trusted that they had his back. Candace always trusted Andrew at first. So if you watch interactions between Charlie and his team, which I absolutely included in my original video. Actually, I included him in a lot of things, but like that was a huge part of my whole thing, which was like, just watch these guys together, man. It's like these guys, this is not make believe. This is not a Truman Show. These guys are fucking best friends. Watch that again really quick.
Sure they did, but
we're seeing Fox call it live.
everyone's
Charlie,
saying it.
let me give you credit from right here in Pennsylvania. You were the guy, you and Tyler convinced me. You say, Cliff, stop door knocking across the country, go back to your home state, own Pennsylvania. That will be the deciding factor. I thought you guys were nuts. We knocked 500,000.
And watch Erica too after this too. Like, this is what I'm saying. I see this whole thing so much differently than everybody else.
1,000 doors. We delivered Pennsylvania, and now we've got our country back. Let's do this, baby. Come on.
Let's go.
There it is.
Clean up, clean up,
All
clean
right.
up.
The
Let's
run
go.
on.
Huge win. Seems a little surreal.
We did not earn this. This is God's mercy on our country.
Now, again, what we're going to be looking at, shit hurts my heart, man. Maybe my theory is just based on the fact that I don't think I can fucking stomach it if this dude is dead. But like, watch this. Look, like him and her, just put eyes on her before all of this happened, when I believe she started playing a role, when she's just with Charlie. It's like, she seems like a different person, man.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of The Charlie Kirk Show. I'm engaged. Charlie
Like
Kirk
this,
Show.
this one,
Now,
like this,
all
especially.
of the preface videos that I'm going to show you, this is the one that Charlie Kirk and then
Everyone today.
Grammar matters more than people realize.
Words of wisdom for today.
Learn how to say words backwards.
I don't know if they were the
Words of wisdom for today.
power shows the man. You want to find out a lot about somebody, give them a bunch of power. Power shows the man. We will be diving deep into Aristotle. We were just at Hillsdale, good school, great school. Only college, the last college.
Your words of wisdom for today.
Wise man loves to be corrected. Anyone that wants to replace error with truth is wise.
What are your words of wisdom?
Hey, I live by that. Not probably because I heard him fucking say it.
For today.
To know the road ahead, ask those coming back.
And where are we?
We're in an elevator. I like your hat.
Baby. What are your words of wisdom for today?
Lost time is never found again.
this is the best, dude. Hey, hey guys, she's a psychopath though. I'm just saying, like, you need to start watching this and start to question the assumptions that you've made, because I promise I'm really good at this. Anyone in my life will tell you that if I go, listen, look at that person, if you leave them alone with whatever, they're going to steal your oranges. I'm never wrong about people when I get a good solid read on them. And the reason I couldn't watch her before is because she was not being herself. And it was so obvious to me that she made my blood curdle. And here, I don't get the heebie-jeebies. I can just watch her hang out with Charlie. We'll probably figure out soon why that is. Now, as a reminder, we move over to this one, and this is where you get to see the relationship that Charlie had with the other guys at TPUSA, all of his best friends, his closest comrades, the guys that he has built this thing with from the beginning. And now watch that again.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is, like, when I watch these, I'm like, these guys didn't fucking kill him, man. I just don't believe it. I don't buy it. Joan Buddy, thank you very much. Can you give us a safe word so you know when you've been compromised? If I say I like Benny Johnson, we know it without you saying. That's funny, man. Like, there's no safe word. The only way that I could get compromised on this particular topic is if, like, I love Benny Johnson. I'm just kidding. Okay, so hey Jesse, Matt is dumb. Candace said that about the timestamps because that's how we knew Djokovic was lying. I figured the prosecutor said in court the zoomed in footage zoomed out with the timestamp. That makes perfect sense. And Matt is, I mean, dude, like, obviously he fucking brought up Russia, dude. What Russia? Okay, Would I have Stu Peters on? Yeah, for sure, dude. And speaking of fucking on-camera talents, dude, that guy is born for the camera and the microphone for sure. The Woodshed by Dan. Everyone bought it at first until people started taking a closer look past the initial shock. Yep. And again, that's the whole thing, dude. It's like the official story was written by September 13th. It's like, just to even try to wrap your brain around that. It's like, if that, I don't know, like any debate where people are debating taking the side of the official story, that is where you should start right there and just be like, if you had to guesstimate the number of hours and minutes that people have spent like investigating this case beyond, you know, like with evidence that was not even available immediately, it's like you couldn't even begin to estimate. You're like, so you think no one came up with a single thing that might shape or change the official story? It's like it's a bad position to be arguing from, you know. Okay, no, bro, you hand a new video with wow on the thumbnail. You did it yesterday on this phone where I'm a member. I can't find it on my other, not a member. It's there. Wait, what? Oh, you're talking about the members only one? Wait, so no, you got a new video with wow on the thumbnail. You did it yesterday on this phone where I'm a member. I can't. Okay, hang on. Let me look. Let me take a look-see. Let me see if there is something from members only where, wait, members only. Oh, wait, maybe it's a live stream. Let me check that and look, members only. I don't know, dude. I don't see anything wow on my end either. I'm not sure, dude. I apologize, brother. Since Charlie got taken out, no one is now talking about or investigating the money laundering through GPUSA. I don't know anything about the money laundering, but I don't know anything about that. I remember a lot of people saying stuff about that like a while ago. I think that actually might have been right around like January, February when a lot of people were looking at that. But whenever I would look at a specific story, a lot of times I was just like, what, dude? You know, it was like, I don't know. Like I would look at something and then I would look at who was saying it and they were talking about drug cartel money. And I'm like, come on, dude. Drug cartel. I mean, like that's going to take some really serious evidence for me to take it seriously. Fucking like Charlie's running drug money through TPUSA that's a tough one for me, you know? Abrams, what's up, dude? Good show, Jesse James. Here is a deep state banking tip. Leroy Pope Walker ordered the shots at Sumter and let Jesse James's brother off the hook. Leroy Pope's son-in-law, George Washington, connect. Fuck, man. I feel like I need to take yours and then like plug them into ChatGPT and be like, define this for someone who's not as smart as him, because I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But I will. I mean, the deep state banking tip. I don't know what to do with that. I apologize. I got to get caught up. We're way behind on these. These are. Oh no, we're not. We're 9 minutes behind now. T Bizzle. I just meant some general stories with Nate. Oh, okay, I got you, dude. Not necessarily war stories. Member vid would be great for all that. Barron spoke to Owen Benjamin for an hour yesterday. Maybe he can connect you, dude. Yeah, for sure he can connect me. That's awesome. Thank you, dude. Stephanie says, maybe alive, maybe a prisoner of his own people. At this point, nothing will surprise me. I feel he's alive in some way. I hope so, man. Watching those videos of him talking just fucking makes me upset. Because the reality is, regardless of, obviously, I hope he's alive for him and his family, but like, as it relates to the public discourse, he's dead as far as that's concerned. Because that is a one-way ticket, regardless of what it is. And man, there are irreplaceable minds and voices. You know, like I think even the smartest people discount how much impact like certain people can have on the future just by themselves having the ability to say their opinion and people share it. And he's for sure one of those guys. You know what I mean? One of the, like, a thing I saw that I loved was there was like a trend of these leftists who had celebrated him being murdered. And then subsequently at some point they were, shockingly open-minded enough to actually pull up one of his videos when someone was like, have you ever seen him? Because they're like, he's a racist, he's a homophobe, he's a blah, 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 blah. Hang on. Oh, Danks, what's up, dude? What do you think about Stu Peters coming out saying Jacob racist involved and now quitting the admin? I have no idea, dude. I don't know about that. I will look into it, though, my dude. Everybody go follow Dankster Intel. That's my guy. Problem is Charlie is willing to let Robinson die. Well, again, the only way that would be, first of all, I think that Tyler Robinson is going to get off. But if Charlie's alive and he is willing for Tyler to go down, I have total faith that means Tyler probably had a terabyte of stuff on his computer watching, kids significantly younger than my youngest being raped. And so that's the only way. And if that's true, fuck him. Let him die, dude. But again, I have total faith in Charlie's ethics. So that is what drives that. Wait, hang on. What was I going to say about hold on. Let me pull, dude. Most people do not have the ability to do this, but I do, which is I just realized that I never do that, but I did in fact lose my train of thought. And it was something that I was about to say that was really important. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go back and see what I was talking about because I don't want to miss it. Hang on. You guys watch this. This is going to be weird. I'm going to make you guys watch me with me. I am going to Jacob and people share it. And Leroy makes me upset because the reality is regardless of, obviously I hope he's alive. There are, hang on. Oh, Danks, what's up, dude?
That was
what do
it
you think
right
about
there.
Stu Peters
Hang on.
coming out saying Jacob themselves having the ability to say their opinion and people share it. And he's for sure one of those guys. You know what I mean? One of the, a thing I saw that I loved was there was like a trend of these leftists who had celebrated. Oh yeah. That. So yeah, there was a trend of these leftists who had, oh, Charlie, he's a racist and he's a blah, blah-ist and whatever. And people, when people are like, hey, have you ever actually confirmed the shit that you're spewing out of your face that he was actually a racist or whatever? And they're like, well, yeah. And then they went and watched. And in every case, of course, as soon as they go watch it all, oh my God, they're lying to me. Like that they have been lying about his opinions. And my favorite one, wow, I don't know if I could pick one, but the one that I always default to when I'm trying to explain this to, Democrats who may or may not be in my family who don't know anything about anything except for what they read in fucking, places that are literally propaganda to trick them into thinking that Charlie would be a racist, is I always point them at the one because they always say Charlie Kirk said that he would never fly on a plane with a black pilot. Can you believe that? Disgusting racist. It's like, that's not what he fucking said. You lying, sniveling cocksucker. You fucking liars. That's not what he fucking said. What he said was, okay, he was saying that he was making an example of how implementing DEI programs actually works against the people they're pretending that they help. Example being that if Delta Airlines or American Airlines, they publicly go, we're going to be hiring X number of black pilots, no matter what. Well, anybody common sense, if they get onto a plane with that airline, they see a black pilot, they're going to go, fuck, I hope that this person is qualified to fly the plane. Because you openly said that you are prioritizing numbers over qualifications for that group. And so when you visually see that group, of course, you're going to think to yourself, I wonder if they're actually qualified to fly the plane. That's not racist. That's common sense. And it's just good, solid insight. And the fact that they use that over and over and over to pretend that he's racist. And my absolute favorite, fucking 9 days after he gets murdered in front of the entire world, is when AOC went up in front of Congress and said Charlie Kirk, who had said that he was against the Civil Rights Act, which gave blacks the ability to vote. It was like, you fucking lying bitch. Fuck you, AOC. Okay. That is intentionally framed so that they can pretend that Charlie said he didn't want black Americans to vote, which is such an absurd fucking lie that how anybody who knew what he actually said could look at that and not want to spit in her face for saying that 9 days after he got murdered. That's just going to put on record with the Congress, like, the stenographers all, Charlie said that blacks shouldn't vote. You're all, they have no fucking bottom to how low they will stoop. It's unreal, dude. It's disgusting. All he said about the Civil Rights Act was that he had a problem with how it was being applied to groups in the LGBT whatever, and he gave specific examples. He never even talked about black Americans, and he sure as hell obviously never said that he had an issue with black Americans voting. But that's fine. They don't care. They'll fucking write that down, have AOC say it, and then boom, it becomes part of the public record, and they'll quote it in the New York Times and every other fucking place forever. That's why they're trash, and I will never fucking support them. I hate those motherfuckers, man. I can't stand it. Anyway, it's just Zero says, I can't be the only person who finds humor in the irony of the name Turning Point, especially considering the 180 from the admin and TPUSA on literally everything shit. I mean, I've talked about this a million times. Like, Charlie fully against the Iran war. When Trump attacked Iran in June, he came out and he said he supported it because he said he supports Trump. Like, he's navigating leadership in an organization of that size while trying to manage your relationship with fucking Trump, who's like, Trump is I can't even imagine what it's like to deal with that guy, dude. Because you're like, okay, so listen, if he does this is going to be catastrophic. And it's like, well, how are we going to tell him that? You can only tell him to not do something by telling him he's awesome. Like, you have to tell him he's good at something. Because if you tell him that you're being critical of anything that he might do, he's just going to cut you out of his life. You're all, what? They're like, yeah, those are your guidelines, dude. Get Trump to do the thing that you want him to do by only telling him how awesome he is and how good his decision-making is. Go. You're all, okay. I mean, you're going to be making a lot of compromises with what you say publicly, because the second that you are critical, he's just going to cut you out and then you have no influence. I think that is what they are likely actually dealing with behind the scenes. You know what I mean? T-Bizzle, you and Owen would be so dope, especially talking about the moon landing. Other member, Baron, Jake Shields, and your lovely Gabi. I was just hanging out with Jake in Vegas last weekend. Yeah, dude. And Baron, dude, like when me and Baron did the members only, like there are certain people where I could literally just have an indefinite conversation. Nate, anytime me and Nate end up on, like it will never end. Baron, same. And yeah, well, Gabrielle, of course. Speaking of which, fuck, I gotta wrap this up because I need to go do my show with Elizabeth too. Stephanie, thank you very much. If he's being held prisoner, no, I don't think that, but maybe. Okay, so it's not necessarily dead in the public eye. If he's alive, there's hope. All these assets will go down. I don't think he's being held hostage. Again, there's no way for me to know. It's not even. There's no point in me even speculating on that. But yes, if he's so, let's say he was. There has to be a way that you could bring him back, without having to make it some make-believe religious thing, like have some reason that he had to fake it that had a bigger, I don't know. My head hurts. I'm going to say stuff that's dumb right now. Zoom in on the video 1 second before the shooter stands up and play it. Tell me that the video isn't cut and edited right there. It jumps. I totally agree. I absolutely agree with you. I looked at that, and also the way he gets up doesn't seem to be a way like people's bodies move. Okay, I apologize for having to jump super fast. I just realized it's 4:30 and I've been going for almost 4 hours and I still have a show that I need to do with Elizabeth. So I got to jump. You guys are the best. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. And there is merch in the description and the new clips channel in the description. go check them out. If you want to join the Discord, that's also in the description under Club Vatra. And love you guys. Peace.